Hello, everyone, and welcome to this pre-recorded session of Nat20Hot. We could not be more thrilled that once again you're back here with us and this crazy cavalcade of individuals that we have here on the right-hand side of me, or yeah, there, the right-hand side of me. We are Nat20Hot. We're a group of friends that like to play Dungeons and Dragons together, and we've been doing this for a while now. And you'll note that we don't have a full party with us, which we'll get to in just a moment. But before we get to that, no matter when you're watching this, because always and forever we have been fundraising for a wonderful charity called Extra Life, which goes towards funding critical and life-saving care for children who desperately need it throughout hospitals in North America. Whether you're in middle of Wisconsin or in the sunny state of Maryland, we will fund children's hospitals in your area. So go ahead and if you find it in your hearts and minds and in your wallets, make a contribution to our Extra Life team page. You can find that on our website, www.nat20hot.com. Now, a little bit about where we left off last time out. When we last left Bran-win, she had parted ways from the rest of the party as each of them went off to complete tasks that were seemingly starting to pile up upon them. Bran-win, in her endeavor, ventured to the material plane by way of the Ebonlink, and was grateful for finally some time alone. You know, she needed some me time, some girl time. And along the way, she managed to find her very own keep, which, though in a sorrowful state of disrepair, she did find a peculiar bullseye lantern that, when fitted with a handful of candles, played projections of previous ladies of the lake. A helpful guide for her on her way to fulfilling her new role as Lady of the
It was
Everlake.
still incredibly vague.
Very vague, but all very helpful nonetheless. You got to read between some of those lines. But further exploration, unfortunately, would have to wait, as she stumbled upon a very handsome looking shepherd dog that lured
It's a
her
puppy.
outside, only to find herself at the business end of a crossbow held by none other than Lazer Hawk, her
It was
old
Boo Boo the Fool.
companion. Yep. Lazer Hawk was pursuing a bounty that, much like in the world, was set here in the material plane. But she was able to reason with him long enough to help him find and inevitably fell his arch nemesis, Ragnarobert, the bastard son of Catastrophil. So, in agreeing to help him in this endeavor, they made for Trowood and were finally able to enjoy a pleasant night reconnecting with old friends at the Marigold Estate, which now sits very close to the ever expanding, no longer frontier town of Yusan. Unfortunately, all of this was not before Branwen was tormented once again by another nightmare that now begins to unspool her her subconscious thread by thread, becoming forgetful so much as to forget her old chum Eliana, but not forgetful enough to remember her true mission on the material plane, annoying the shit out of Seraphel after several scrying and conversations that they did have, where she seems to be, if not warming up to Branwen, at least hating her less. And so that is where we find ourselves. Bramwin, last night you had found that unsent letter from Cena, written 2 years prior. As a great deal of time has passed in the material plane here. Um, and you enjoyed an unmitigated no problems of a slumber. You had a nice, pleasant sleep. And now the sun rises on the Marigold Estate the following day. Um, and you find that your companion Laserhawk has already made his way downstairs, not one for sleeping in. And you actually find him sitting out on the porch in an attempt to kind of not be around people.
I think I actually, right when I wake up, I am going to check the letter that I'm still holding, that I still recognize the name on there. And I'm going to take a couple minutes to just write down a note to myself on the back of it that maybe I'll share if it ever comes up. Then I'll put
Okay.
it back in my little jacket pocket. I'm mementoing myself.
Okay. Very, very smart. Okay.
Yeah, I have it all written down right here. And then
Whoa.
I have it all written down. It's fine. Um, but I think as I'm writing, I'm starting to get kind of just pissed off.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go take a small walk.
Do I see you leave the house?
It depends, Bramley. Are you attempting to depart stealthily?
Not particularly.
Okay, well, so when you get downstairs, make a perception check.
Okay. That is a 24.
You can very clearly see Lazer Hawk kind of skulking. Does Lazer Hawk smoke? I feel like he smokes from a pipe specifically.
Yeah,
Smokes
no,
cloves for
he's a
sure.
Yeah.
he's a cigar kind of guy.
Oh, okay. You can
The
very
pipe.
clearly see Laser Hawk puffing on a cigar on the front porch. So you can make a decision whether or not you want to walk out past him or go out the back.
I'll be back. I have to go make a not phone call because phones don't exist.
Hmm.
All right.
It'll probably be fine. Um, I'm gonna go find a nice little quiet area, sit my little ass down, and take out the feather and scry.
Okay. Please hold. I just get to get my dice out until the dice roll. ASMR.
Oh my god.
Wow, she rolled a nat one.
Oh my god, girly. Good
Oh
for her.
dear. Good for her. Okay. So you kind of hold the feather in your hand. Let the subtle tune that you've now kind of written in your mind to associate with Seraphel. It's just
It's
like
the
a little,
me song. It's the me song from the Wheeze.
like the do 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 do.
Yeah,
That one. Okay. Um,
that's the scribe song canonically.
you play that in your head, and you kind of hear it in the back of your mind, and it's not at all comical. Um, and your eyes start to kind of glaze over, and you find yourself stomping through a wood. Um, she's not flying. She's kind of, in some circumstances, it almost kind of feels like she seems to enjoy or relish the sound, like the crunch beneath her feet, or she seems to kind of like step out of path to make sure she hits a good one. Um, but then, like basically, as soon as you feel your presence, like kind of appear alongside her, she lets her foot fall on one of them, and just kind of like hesitates for a moment and keeps walking. She goes, "Hello.
Not brooding by the ocean this time.
What do I owe this particular annoyance? Or is this just something I can expect from now on?"
Oh, this is something you can expect from now on.
You're, she turns around and looks in the direction of where your scry is. You can see that she's like, make a perception check.
Dirty 20.
So the first things first, you do not recognize the forest path that she is on. Um, but the whole, you know that the vast majority of the continent is kind of draped in this
There's a lot of trees around here.
autumnal wood. Um, But what you do notice is that like every time she feels that she's kind of like right on top of you, staring at you. But now that you've kind of distant, like she's allowed some distance between you and her, she keeps walking along. That she doesn't really like, look exactly at you. She seems to look in like your general direction, but she's kind of looking off to your left, as though she doesn't know exactly like where your presence might be
I keep
felt.
changing camera views.
Changing POVs. Um,
Yeah,
and for those watching, we've established that Seraphel can see when people scry on her. Uh, this is not
she's
new
so cool.
information. Yeah, she's very cool. Um, and she just kind of like, and you're absolutely certain you can't die.
I mean, haven't really tried it.
Would you like to?
Not really.
You keep this up, I just might have to. And she keeps walking along.
How can you take what they've done to you and what they've forced you to do and then do that to somebody else?
She keeps walking.
Does it not bother you at all? You've spent so much time mourning those innocent people that you had to kill over by that sea, but you still killed everybody at that temple.
She continues to walk at a brisker pace.
I'm just gonna keep following her.
You find as she continues to travel, the strain of the magic is becoming a bit much. That she's clearly moving at enough of a pace where you find it difficult to maintain a clear location of her.
You have nothing to say about that? Not even gonna threaten to kill me over it?
She pauses for a moment, and her hand kind of floats down to the hilt at her side. Do you know why I was the best? Do you know why
Tell
they
me.
all fear me? And why even in those darkest nightmares that you'll, if you haven't already had, you will continue to. Why I'm there. Because I know that ends are justified by the means. They don't. To them, it's all just means. It's another day. It's another life. It's another tens of thousands of lives. You don't think that the weight of every decision I've made bears on my shoulders day in, day out, minute by minute, hour by hour? You can't fathom. But I've come this far. So no, nothing will stand in my way. Least of all you.
You're still gonna you're still gonna choose the ways that are just like the things that they made you do. You're doing the same exact things as
And I'll make
they
sure it
did.
can never be done again. What's that favorite expression? You have to break a few eggs to make an omelet? I'll break however many eggs it takes.
A lot of scramble.
That's a lot of scramble.
I can't
Why can't you
expect.
find a different way?
Because there is no other way. I've spent.
Have you tried?
Tried? I spent the better part of the last millennia trapped. Shackled. Am I. I've had a lot of time to think.
And what did you come up with?
I'm a weapon. I'll do what they do. Kill. And she turns and continues to now walks at a very brisk pace, and you can feel the vision kind of fading at the edges.
Yeah, I'll break it off and then go stomp back up toward Lazer Hawk. Go
How
kill a
was
guy.
that? That's what I like to hear. Um, well, while she's gone, can I try to find Morgan again?
You can certainly try. However, you find that he is not present at the estate this morning.
Gotcha. Okay. Then, yeah, as she approaches, I go, all right, let's kill a man.
Wait. It came in really hot. What's the actual plan?
I'll bring you in.
Great. Cool.
We
That's it?
find information on Ragnarobert. If what you say is true, that she doesn't care about you anymore, they'll have no use for you, right?
Correct.
Then you come with me and we kill the bastard, hopefully finding out where he is.
All right, you do know that I am no good in a fight.
You don't need,
Utterly useless.
you just need to be worth something.
I'll try.
You're
Something.
already doing it pretty well. Well, they think you're worth something. Anyway, I guess we'll start heading towards town.
Elray will step out onto the deck. And go, "Oh, good morning. Off to the city then. Was that it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh, anything I could be of assistance with? I don't suppose you have a plan in place.
You ever heard of a man named Ragnarobert, Bastard Son of Catastrophil?
The name has come up in certain unsavory circles, yes.
Unless you got information on where he is right now. I think our plan's pretty good.
And you're just going to turn her over then, is it?
Well, maybe in return for some information and the gold.
And Bran-win, you are comfortable with this concept that you are being turned over to a criminal enterprise? I assume you have an escape plan of some kind.
Yeah, I'm pretty slippery.
Make an insight check.
Grandma does not give a fuck.
15.
He is definitely concerned, but attempting to hide that fact to not impact your confidence.
I think Branwen has self-destructive tendencies.
This feels like a Willem plan.
Can I roll insight on that as well?
Sure. Actually, Elray says that. This feels like a Willem plan, half baked.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah,
I'll
we
make
should
sure
have
nothing
a
happens to her. You have my word.
I mean, whatever happens, I'll be fine.
Well, I
I know.
suppose I can trust you.
Where is this place?
Who's that
Where
a
are we
question for?
going?
Oh, I'm
Oh,
just going to the bar that was on the.
okay. Do you know where the Syndicant's HQ is, where I'm gonna end up potentially?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Wait, do I know?
You do not.
Wait, I would know. Oh,
I
You
have no idea.
you picked. So we'll make a history check.
because they've been like
Or not
trying
the
to
Syndicant,
contact
the
me for a little
Fiend.
while, right? Trying to get me to do
Yes.
shit.
Yeah, make a history check, and I'll give you
Um,
a briefing on them.
yeah. I got a -3 on.
You can do so with
on-
advantage because you've been trying to work with them.
Nope, that was my dog. My dog is not smart.
Ah,
Oh, whoopsie.
uh, with advantage, it's 15.
okay. Yeah, so you would know that the Phoenix, not the Cinderkin, are operating out of a handful of locations. They have learned from their previous mistakes to not have their base of operations set up in one place, where a group of ne'er do wells can flood it and kill an entire enterprise. Um, they operate out of a handful of locations. You know that the Dockside Tavern is a front for a warehouse run by Kale Rins. And Kale is one of the three of the Ember Council who run the Phoenix. You also
Kale Riz.
Rin,
Oh,
specifically Kale the Iron Hand Rin. You would also
This isn't
know.
to play on Kylo Ren, is it?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Um,
He's gonna show up with his pants really high.
yeah, just like finish what you started. And he's speaking to the skull of Gordon Trunchmer. Um, you would also know the two other members are Phoebe Flicker Tallow, Kale Ironhand Rin, and Rast Harrow.
Rast doesn't have a cool name.
He does not, no nickname. Rast was cool enough for him.
Okay.
He likes to rast.
And I know Kale is probably in charge of the warehouse slash.
Yes, so you know that Kale runs the Dockside Tavern, or at least he doesn't run it, but it's where his office is, like his front, and it's situated around the corner from a warehouse that you know he operates like, logistics and operations out of. Uh,
What do I know about Phoebe?
Phoebe, she likes to go by Flicker. That's very important.
Okay.
She hates the name Phoebe, which you appreciate and will use against her. And she runs a luxurious parlor in the merchant section of the city that she used to kind of collect gossip and things of that nature. It's called the Black Sun.
And what about Rast?
You don't know a lot about Rast, other than that you've known his like kind of presence and name for a long time. He's a real rough and tumble type. He was Gordon Trunchmer's right hand during the Cinderkins' heyday, um, and because of like his paranoia, he never stays in one place for too long. You get the sense that if anybody was going to be dealing the closest with Ragnarobert, it would be Rast, because they're both ruthless.
Okay. But I wouldn't know where to find him off the top of my head.
Not off the dome.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna go see. We're gonna go see Phoebe. Uh, I think she's got connections around. She'll probably be able to tell us where Ragnarobert, Bastard Son of Catastrophil is.
But wouldn't are you so you're turning me into her?
No, you're gonna stay as Bran-win, but I'm turning you, like I'm giving you to her. Yeah.
Oh, so you're turning me into her?
No, you're gonna stay as Bran-win.
You're Randying, you son of a
That's a
bitch.
Randy move.
Damn it.
Hardcore. Oh, go ahead. Continue. I will.
Yes.
Elray just kind of watches that go back and forth. Goes, but the bounty says the Dockside Tavern.
Can you come up with a good enough reason to not take me there?
No, he's probably right.
I listen. You know the criminal underworld better than I do, but it's ultimately if you're hoping to make a good impression,
I'm not.
then perhaps bringing her to Phoebe is the best case scenario. And if I may say, I certainly feel better about Bramwin getting out of the Black Sun than I do the Warehouse District.
Then that's where we'll go.
Do you have a good excuse? I don't know, too many eyes at the docks or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants. I don't think
Can't
planning
tell
is
it all.
really a good plan's as good as his brain maker is.
I'm still in Randy mode. This is not good.
Do
Get
do
it together,
you need a minute to get into character?
Get out of there.
get out
I'm
of
good.
Randy.
Yeah. You're okay. Actually, none of that happened. We're just going to the warehouse district. That's what Laser Hawk would do.
Okay, heard. I was gonna say he's getting kooky with his planning.
Can't be kooky or
He's all
crazy.
business,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to Ragnarobert.
The bastard son of Catastrophil.
Sorry, yes, yes.
All right.
I
Go ahead.
mean, already if worst comes to worst, you know where we're headed. Um,
Indeed.
if you don't hear from us, I don't know. How long do you think this is gonna take?
A couple hours, maybe a week at most.
Elray's deadpan.
We'll be back before nightfall.
That's better.
Maybe like 2 a.m. I feel like this could.
Fair enough. Good luck to you both, and you know where to find me. He will
If
kind of
I'm sitting around and get bored, I'll message you.
he reaches out to you, Bran-win, as like you both leave and kind of grips your wrist as you're going to. Be careful. Just getting used to having you back.
Oh, I'll be around.
Good. All right. You two follow the main road into the city. Um, at this point, with Buster gleefully padding along at your heels, he did.
I go give Maple a little kiss before I leave
She's
to
being
feed her.
fed by Dinky. Dinky
Whoa.
is holding up the because she's in with the animals. Dinky is taking care of his job of feeding the animals. Um, as you make your way down the main road, again, there are a handful of other farms and small pastures that have popped up since your time away. And now a number of those people are starting to go into the city for the day's labors. Um, it's once again, you're kind of struck by just how much the city has scaled in the time that you've been away. The outer edges of the city, as you start to get into it, are a patchwork of newer neighborhoods and much more hurried expansions. So while you can see the heart of the city that you've become known and the clock tower, the very familiar clock tower, which has clearly been replaced with a new clock, um, everything around it is much more uneven. So the dirt road that you follow into town inevitably becomes a cobblestone, but rather uneven. And everything shows really
Bad cobblestone.
bad cobblestones, and everything shows like a really signs of unbalanced and rapid growth. So there are a lot of kind of like wooden tenements that have popped up. Their facades are patchwork and they're kind of leaning in some places. There are a lot of narrow windows that kind of people look out and eye you curiously. Especially make an insight check.
I got my hood up for sure.
Okay, make an insight check. Brandon.
8.
Okay. You don't really notice anything out of the ordinary, but you do notice a fair number of eyes on your duo. In some areas, as you get closer and closer to the city, laundry is strung between the buildings, and they kind of clearly like dripping in the morning dew. Um, but despite everything feeling like kind of nice and charming, there's quite a bit of disorganization. So you kind of catch the whiff of open gutters, the contents kind of trickling onto the street itself. It's not overwhelming, but it's there. There's a mix of like salt air coming off of the sea, but then the occasional whiff of refuse and what's that in an alleyway. Um, but the closer you get to the main city, you can see that vendors are already out in force. Carts are starting to pile up. There are a lot of children hawking wares. Make a perception check.
That is a 26.
You are on edge as you enter the city. And though nobody approaches Lazer Hawk, you do feel the faint, like tiny touch of a finger kind of brush up against your hip. And your
I'm just gonna
hand.
gently brush it away.
Okay, so you are very deft, and like as you kind of just knock it away, you see like you hear a faint giggle and a child kind of run off, where they had attempted to pick your pockets.
And they didn't get anything, right?
They did not get anything. You're able to detect them in time.
Stop it. No, no.
Further in, the slums kind of give way to more orderly streets. Familiar to you, you've walked these paths before. Well maintained buildings of stone and brick. Clearly, some of the wooden
Wow.
buildings have been pulled down and rebuilt.
Probably they burned down.
Inns and merchant offices. Um, Everything feels cleaner. Like you've transitioned from the icky part of town, for lack of a better, like slums, really. And though there is the odd beggar kind of lingering in the shadow, most of this is the market square kind of giving way, and people are walking with purpose. They're dressed in finer fabrics. Everything, there's much more of a sense of comfort in this part of the city. And with the sun now high in the sky, in the morning upon you. People are kind of, it's very much like the opening scene of Beauty and the Beast, where people are singing and talking to each other and sharing.
Bonjour.
Exactly. And beyond the marketplace, you can see the coastal docks, cargo ships unloading their goods, fishermen going out for the catch on the Bay of Trowood. Um, Everything feels alive and ambitious. It's a beautiful morning day in Trowood.
Hey, Lazer Hawk.
Yeah.
Should I be like handcuffed or something?
Yeah, I was gonna wait till we get a little closer out of
Okay.
respect, but we can do it in that alley over there.
Whenever this is your thing, whenever you think.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna kind of like go off to the side a little bit, and take out some rope and tie her up, very much similar to a fashion as I did before, but like purposefully a little bit loosely,
Okay.
so she can escape easily if she needs to.
Make a performance check to kind of like make sure it looks good.
Oop, cocked.
12.
Okay. So, Brandon, you are bound at the wrists and kind of the arms to make sure your upper body is properly restricted. You kind of look down, and you're like, no, looks okay. But you can also tell that it's very easy to shimmy in and out of. And Laser Hawk, you know the exact path to the Dockside Tavern. Um, and you're not too concerned about it being early in the day. This is a place of business all day, any time of the day or night. But you expect at the least that it should be quiet when you enter. So you kind of make your way to the docks. You can see that most people are seem to be preoccupied, either loading or unloading a vessel or heading out to sea. And nobody really pays you any mind in this particular part of town. But you can see a kind of on stilts. So the dock kind of proceeds underneath it. So there's a banister that you kind of have to, a tall person might have to squat, but for most people, normal people, it's perfectly fine to walk under. But the second level of the tavern sticks out over the water on top of stilts, and the dock continues underneath it. And there's a walkway, a staircase that goes up towards the tavern that you can enter.
I turn to Bran-win and I go,
All right, let me do most of the talking. You know, I don't actually talk at all.
Okay, cool.
If things go south, I don't know. You seem like you got tricks up your sleeve. You can handle yourself.
and we walk in.
Okay. As you step into the Dockside Tavern, the air kind of hits you like a wet slap. Everything is
Ugh.
stale and rotting. There's like an acrid tank of salt water in the air. The ceiling hangs quite low. You can see that there's a bar on the far side and a staircase that goes down to the lower level where you expect there might be. Well, actually, later on, you know there are like kind of. There's like hammocks downstairs. This is a space meant for the traveling merchant or ship's mate or fisherman to grab a quick snooze in between shifts. And that most of the second level where you've walked up to that overlooks the water is where a lot of the tavern action happens. The ceiling is quite low up here, crisscrossed by thick beams. You can see there's a lot of knife marks in the walls where either fights or throwing competitions have happened. Um,
Knifey fingers?
there aren't knifey fingers, but that's not happening at the moment. Um, there are very few people in the tavern at this particular juncture. In fact, as you enter, you can see that most eyes linger on you as they see that Branwen is tied up. Um, but many quickly return to drinks or bowls of what appear to be some kind of murky slop, like porridge or some kind. You peep a scarred half-orc barkeep perpetually polishing a dirty tankard, and
It's jerky.
jerky, and two folks kind of lounging by the door. One kind of like spinning a mug in the air and catching it, spinning a mug in the air and catching it, and then another like sitting next to them at the table, and they like made direct eye contact with you as you entered. And then there's one figure sitting at the bar.
I give the people who made eye contact with me a glare and go over to the bar and talk to the barkeep.
They do not look up from cleaning the tankard. What'll it be?
5,000 gold.
Uh, I actually kind of want to canonically think that Bran would laugh there.
I
um,
look back and don't look happy.
um, the figure at the bar, who's sitting at the bar, kind of as the barkeep kind of puts one eye up and goes, "The bounty. Milo will see to you, Milo." And the figure at the bar kind of turns. Hey there, pal. You're here to drop off a bounty. Lazer Hawk. And this figure kind of comes up. They have slicked back, like greasy hair. It's clearly razor cut on the side. They have a bit of an undercut, but they're hand doing it, so they have a lot of like cuts and patches on the side of their head. And then the rest of it's like pulled back really nice and slick. Um, and he kind of like darts around, looks at you in your bad eye, looks at you in your good eye, and then he lifts up the hood of Bran-win to see like who exactly it is, and he goes, My, you found them. We didn't think anyone would find them. It's been a good month. And we certainly didn't think if anybody found them, it would be you, Lazer Hawk. Didn't think heroes of Troll would stoop to bounty hunting anymore.
I've been a bounty hunter for a long time. It's what I'm good at.
Well, such as it is. Where's the rest of them?
Turns out in another fucking realm. Not much I can do about that.
That would explain why they've been so difficult to locate. Well, that's very that's interesting. Make an insight check.
I also
Yeah.
Ooh, I did bad.
did good.
4.
That's a 24.
Yeah, Brimman, you can tell that he's very fidgety. It feels like a nervous energy. He's like part excited, but he also keeps looking towards the two people at the door. Um, and
Can
it's
I
just
see this?
like,
Do I have like a hood over my little head?
yeah, you do have a hood up, so you can't really see the people that are sitting there. But he's very like finicky with his hands, and he kind of like, it's good, good. Yeah, well, Kale is expecting any of them, and this is very good because she's one of the favorites. We have instructions. Yes, we have instructions. So where did you find her?
I'm gonna send him a quick telepathic message. He's nervous.
What does it matter?
Kale will want to know. So I'm just curious. Where did you find her?
If Kale wants to know, I'll tell Kale.
Make an intimidation check.
I wish I had better intimidation because he's an intimidating guy, but he has 0 charisma.
Yeah.
Nah, 8.
All in due time, Lazer Hawk. You answer my questions, and I help you get to Kale. I need to make sure this is on the level. If I'm not mistaken, you two were friends once. Well, why the sudden change of heart?
I knew her for a couple days 2 years ago. She means very little to me.
Oh. What little. What's your name? When? Brandy?
Bran-win.
Branwen. Right. Well, does that make you sad, Branwen, that he doesn't want to be your friend anymore?
Doesn't matter how she feels.
Well, so I ask again, where did you find her?
Found her at the lake up north.
I assume it's up north?
West.
West. Out west.
Lake out west. That's most peculiar. Well, actually, not very peculiar. Okay. Uh, and your dead set on the 5,000 gold. That's what you want.
That's what was listed.
Fair enough. All right. Well, um, if it's all the same to you, we'll be bringing her to the he whispers, to the warehouse now. That is where Kale will be, and he'll have your payment, and we'll make sure a smooth transaction. Is that right?
Great.
Well,
Take us there.
terrific. And just to be clear, no qualms about getting rid of your old chum here.
No.
You can make a persuasion check, and you can do so with advantage, given the previous conversation.
19.
Ah, terrific. Well, then I suppose you won't have any problems here. And he kind of goes up and he tightens all of the ropes around Bran. He goes, getting a little sloppy, Lazer Hawk. Wrong move. She could have just slipped away. That's 5,000 gold that you could have had. Just gone with the wind. Come along, then.
Thank you.
We must make haste.
Suppose I did tie her up a little hastily.
Well, I'm not a bounty hunter, but I can imagine it gets quite frantic. So many things happening at once. Who could say? Well, follow me. And he just kind of starts chatting with you as he leads you out and and then he kind of like pulls the cloak over Bran-win's binding so that nobody outside asks any questions. As he kind of like leads you down the staircase and back around the dock, and he goes, "Man, this is all very funny business, wouldn't you say? Even Karen thinks the whole funny business is very funny. Who posted? We don't know. We just got the money, and well, we've got a list of instructions, and it should be very exciting." Yes.
It's hilarious.
Yes. Very funny. Oh, so all your friends abandoned you then, huh? No more friends to save you, huh? Not talking. I
No
understand
more.
that. It's very probably he probably beat you good, right? Made sure you wouldn't say anything. Although you look surprisingly uninjured. Well, that's not for me to decide, right? That's for Kale to decide. He kind of looks over
I'm
at you,
very
Lazer Hawk.
sneaky.
Oh, sneaky, right, right. Well, fair enough. And okay, you approach the warehouse. Sorry, I got a notification of something. And you start to approach the around the bend. And this is a long, squat building with salt-stained walls, heavy iron doors, and it's like kind of the second to last warehouse on the row before it breaks off into like kind of a more like residential and merchant district once more. Um, there are two individuals. Actually, make a perception check, Laser Hawk, as you remember. You can do so.
As we're walking, I send Lazer Hawk a little message. Any updates to the plan?
I got a 25.
Okay.
And depending on this information, I may respond.
You see that the two figures that were in the tavern are following you a good distance away. And you do see that there are two more standing in the doorway of the warehouse, within which sits a large carriage of sorts. Um, so there's like almost like it looks quite nice. It's a more like a noble or refined carriage that you almost it feels familiar, Branwen, to the ones that you would use in Hylasera, where it's fully covered. There's like some parquet windows, so it's difficult to see in or out of. And they're kind of like standing around, kind of kicking rocks around the carriage. Um, and as they see Milo approaching, they kind of like straighten up and kind of lean against the carriage and then see you, Brandon. And Lazer Hawk, you can see them kind of go, and you go, "Are we on?" And Milo says, "We are on. Stay tuned. Kale will have more information, but it would appear we are on." And Milo kind of gesture you into the warehouse.
Um, I'm not going to respond. To
Do I
Brandon.
still have a bag on my head? Can I see this or not? I
Yeah,
can't remember.
you can see everything.
Okay, cool, nice.
Yeah, you're being let in, no problems asked.
I'm just looking around.
Yeah, it was all like they clearly make an insight check.
14.
They do not see you as a threat. They feel
Cool.
very confident that you are
You people
all good.
do.
Yeah. As you are ushered inside, the air is quite thick. Damp wood, mildew, but then there's also kind of a coppery tank. And there's a lot of metal tools, open crates. There's kind of the crates kind of form a bit of like a corridor, almost like a maze. And the interior, since there are no windows, despite the bright day outside, the only light is really coming from oil lamps that are hung from hooks on the various support pillars that prop up the ceiling of the warehouse. Milo guides you through a string of boxes and whatnot, and leads you toward a back kind of makeshift office. And holds you there. Wait here, if it pleases you. And he'll open the sliding door, kind of like a barn door, and then slink in. Each of you can attempt to make a perception check at disadvantage to catch a glimpse before he closes it.
I think I'll just
17.
happen to look in the other direction at that time.
Yeah, you're trying to get a lay of the land. What did you
I
say,
got
Lazer Hawk? Okay.
17.
Yeah, you can.
I also tried to stealthily start shimmying a little bit.
You can make a stealth check and a sleight of hand check, but note that the sleight of hand check will be challenging.
Stealth is a 23.
Okay.
Sleight of hand is a dirty 20.
Okay.
Tina taught me really good.
She did. You are definitely making progress for sure. But you're also like a bit annoyed at how tight they have become. Will Laserhawk, you see a figure that you do instantly recognize as Kale. He is he's one of the few bald men you know, and he is bald. Like he's got a shiny ass dome, and like clearly looks like he polishes it to some degree. Um, he has like a very rigid square jawline and thick cheeks. And you can also tell he's kind of like chatting with one hand towards someone off to the side that you cannot see, and you can see his like telltale. He wears like a almost like a fitted. If you didn't know any better, you'd say it was an iron hand, but it seems completely fitted to him, as though he's like encapsulated his fist in an iron sheet that's wrapped around it and gives it quite a bit of bulk. Um, and he kind of like looks up as the door enters, and you can see his eyes and his eyebrows lift just a little bit as he sees you on the other side. There are also two um, individuals standing at the doorway of this particular office who lock eyes with you. You wait. I don't know why I took so long.
I'm just giving Laser Hawk a look like going on, but
So in front of me is a doorway. Wait, sorry. I'm so sorry. It's like kind of set the scene very, very briefly again.
There are so in front of you is a
so
warehouse.
they just went into an office,
Right.
Yes. They went into an
which is
office.
like a boxing thing.
In front of you are two guards, and then there's a sliding door that prevents you from going in.
Got it.
You watch Milo walk into said office, and uh, you saw Kale inside that office talking to someone out of your peripheral vision.
Okay.
Okay.
I just messaged back. Or you didn't message me. You just kind of gave me a look.
Mm-hmm.
Gave you a
Does it
look
look like
back.
he has things to say? Anything? I do message that.
Let's see what he has to say.
All right. After about 15 minutes, you're standing there. The door finally opens and just remains open. Nobody ushers you inside. You can see Kale on the other side. Kind of now he's seated at the desk, and you can see a behemoth figure behind him wielding a glaive. And he's got kind of like all different kinds of furs and chains on. But he looks quite old. He's got a grizzled beard. He seems to be not missing an eye, but enough of a scar that keeps like one eye drooping constantly, as though it is not fully locked into one particular place. Um, and he's just ripped to shreds. Like he's got a bunch of muscles. He's standing there, clearly like an enforcer of sorts. But to that end, Kale is no disrespect either. Like as you kind of stand there and look at him, Bran-win, you can see that this fellow, though unarmored, is very built. Not the traditional kind of like swarmy trader rogue that you've seen in the past. He is. He looks like he can hold his own in close quarters. Enter.
I do so.
Do you as well, Brandon, or are you like being indignant?
I'm standing there. You didn't tell me to enter.
Uh, bring the bounty.
I kind of a little bit rougher than I should, like push her a little bit inside.
Make a performance check with advantage.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna give him help.
11.
Okay. You enter, and you kind of look over your shoulder and see that Milo slips out behind you and closes the door. Yes. Well, this is a very high value target indeed. Branwen Fox, right? Is that it?
It is.
Yeah.
When she says something, I look at her and like glare at her. Wait, can Brandon roll insight on that though?
Natural 20, baby.
I'm not really mad at you. I just want you to shut the fuck up.
Ooh,
It's mostly a performance for them.
that's what I figured.
He kind of like gestures, like he like watches this, looks side to side, and then clasps his hands together and kind of looks at you.
Bradwin is definitely trying not to laugh.
Make an insight check, please, Hawk. And Brendan.
In
16.
the next 30 minutes.
Yeah, you can like as like it's you guys sit there for like a good minute or two, and he just kind of sits there, and you can actually see that he kind of like at the end like nods and respects the fact that you have the resolve and the will to not say anything and like eat the silence. Well, I have to admit, I'm impressed. We had this bounty posted for what was it, Derek? 6 weeks. Here we are. I will admit, when I heard that you were taking this job, I figured if anyone could do it, it would be you, but was surprised given, well, recent history aside, you have something of a history, don't you?
Well, you don't have to be that impressed. She wasn't hard to get.
I don't doubt it. Well, I suppose it begs the question: uh, why, why you? Why turn on your friend like this? Up until this
Friend is a
point,
bit of a stretch.
okay.
Like I said, I knew her a couple days, 2 years ago.
Okay, so you're willing to turn on just any of your business associates? Is that it? Doesn't really bode well for us if we were to get into something of a working relationship here.
I wouldn't say Bran-win and I were exactly business associates.
You crossed paths some time ago. Is that it?
Yes. It'd be like calling my uncle a business associate.
Remind me
He's
not
just
to,
my uncle.
remind me
She's
not to
just
join you
someone I
for
knew.
family dinners. Interesting enough. But you have to forgive my trepidation. Again, maybe you weren't business associates, maybe you just crossed paths some time ago. We've had a hard time getting you on our payroll, Lazer Hawk. So you have to mind my skepticism when you decide that the first job you're going to take, admittedly with quite a payday, is a hunt for one of your former, we'll call them acquaintances. We've offered you similar sums in the past. Why now?
I haven't been 100% truthful with you, nor the people around here. I don't care about the money one bit.
Is that
I want
so?
information.
Information can be worth just as much as money. Depends on the
Don't I
information you're
know it?
looking for. You telling me you don't want the 5,000 gold?
I would give it up.
Really?
Depends on what you have to tell me and how good the information is.
Well, that's interesting. What does someone like Laserhawk even want to know? Do you, do you know much about what your acquaintance has been doing over the last 2 years? Famed
Something,
bounty
something,
hunter.
other realms.
Oh,
I,
sorry,
I couldn't
I'm
care
not
less.
talking to you. I'm talking to her. This is a man who was feared across. Was it Derek? Every city you saw him. Everyone was worried they'd snatch him in their bed at night. Now it seems he's what do they call it? A hero. They're commissioning a statue of him downtown. So you have to imagine my surprise when he shows up here with, well, dealing with how are we described? The slick underbelly of Yusan's fastest growing city. Don't you think that's weird? You can talk, honey, it's okay.
I look over at Laserhawk.
I kind of give her like the smallest nod.
What's the relationship here? It's either he beat you senseless and you're terrified of him. Honey, he already got you here. Or you don't really seem that indignant. Typically, by the time we get to this stage, you're, running and we have to knock you out or something. All this, it seems a little peculiar.
I told her I'd have a fate worse than death if she said a word.
Is that so? Is that true, honey?
In a way.
You can make a persuasion check. Actually, deception check.
Both of us or just her?
The two of you.
14, I rolled bad.
2. No, 1. But not a natty 1.
It's interesting. Kind of looks over his shoulder. You can make a perception check as well, the two of you.
18.
16.
As he goes, like he says, "Oh, that's interesting." And he kind of looks over his shoulder for just a moment. You can see, kind of follow his eye line and look as Darek kind of tightens his hand on his glaive, kind of twists it in his hand. All right, fair enough. You want information, and you're willing to give over a bounty worth 5,000 gold and potentially take less. But you're interested in the kind of information I have. What does Lazer Hawk want to know?
I've come to understand that Ragnarobert, the bastard son of Catastrophil, works under you, or for you, or alongside
Under
you.
me, for us, man. You couldn't have chosen worse words. If he shows up, he works with us. That's true enough. As I
Where can
understand
I
it,
find him?
you didn't want to work with us. You're not jealous, are you? Oh no. Derek. Ragnarobert. What was that? Oh, he was wanted in like 3 cities for that murder. What was it? Desert Eagle? He grins. Is this a little revenge we're after?
Might be.
What?
Doesn't seem like you have too much of a stake in him.
You're right about that. He's one of my least favorite contractors, but he is exceptionally efficient. He's working on something for us right now. If he weren't so damn effective, I wouldn't tolerate him. And if revenge is what you're after, I have to tell you it's a fool's errand. It's so much better to just build something new from the ground up. You have to understand, I should want to kill her. He gestures to you, Brandis. Now, her and her companions, they ruined everything. They took my life's work away from me. They didn't know it at the time, but I, like the rest of us, built ourselves up from the ashes. It's not worth it to distract myself with revenge on a simpleton. You see, I have everything I want and more now. So, take my advice. You can take the money. Nobody will be the wiser, and if something comes up again, perhaps we can do business. Or you could take the information. But you can take one or the other. Choice is yours.
I don't want the money. I want the information.
Fair enough. Derek, see to it that the lady is taken care of.
Hold on one fucking moment.
Beg your pardon.
Pardon me, but I'm not one for trusting the words of people I barely know. How do I know your word is gonna be legitimate? I don't want to give up my goods until I know what I've got is true.
Unfortunately, it's a decision you're going to have to make, but unfortunately, we have you a bit by the short straws here. Would you really walk into the lion's den, promise the lion a cut of beef, and then attempt to walk out with the beef? That's
Pretty good at killing lions.
real. You're not good at killing this many lions.
I
You're
thought of something very fun.
you're smarter than this, Laserhawks. Truly, you must. We don't want to make this difficult, do we? And for the first time, you see the cold demeanor kind of drop. His hand presses out on the desk and curls into a fist, and Derek kind of steps up alongside the side of the desk. You can take your information, and Derek will take the lady. We
Why
have
don't you
no reason to lie to you.
why don't you let him see me get picked up if he's that committed, sending off a former friend?
You're welcome to stay for the transfer if it's that concerning to you.
Yeah.
Very well. Derek, if it pleases you. And for the first time, Bran, when you see like just like how many instruments are in the room. Um, and Derek approaches you and relieves you of your bags, Excalibur, fiddle, etc. And the two guards that were on the outside kind of come in as um, Kale snaps his fingers, and it sounds very metallic. It's a very interesting sound as he snaps his fingers. One collects the things, the others take chains off of the walls and start to kind of wrap you in them and bring you out towards the main warehouse section again, where make a perception check.
23.
Braylon, you can see that a lengthy crate has been laid out in front of the carriage uh, that you walked into. Um,
Gonna ship me like an Amazon package?
yeah. It even says Prime on the front. Phoenix
No!
Prime. Yeah. Um, and you are roughly shoved into said crate. There are air holes. It's all good. Like you'll be fine.
It's
Um,
all good, Chris? It's
it's
all
all
good?
good. Yeah, it's all good. Um, and you quickly find yourself. Actually, make a Constitution check.
15.
You're a little nervous. You like kind of steady yourself. Like up until the point that you're actually like forced into the crate, you are calm, cool, and collected, and presenting yourself as being totally fine with everything that's happening to you. Um, but as they kind of pull the lid over it, and you could start to hear some of the hammering,
They're hammering me in.
you are starting to feel kind of the first sensation of a little bit of worry.
I'm gonna send a message to Lazer Hawk again. Any updates? I am going to cast.
No, wait. What? He's just gonna say,
Just hang tight.
She certainly is.
Can I free my hands now that I'm.
You could certainly try, but you are fully chained at this point.
Ah.
Yeah.
What components does sending use?
Yeah, you can't move your
Can I
hands
cast
anymore.
sending? Damn it. Can I wiggle? I'm starting to wiggle.
You can certainly wiggle. It's they are a very hard challenge.
I'm gonna try.
Okay.
Can you slide a hand?
Yes.
18.
Unfortunately, that is not enough. Um, and Laserhawk, you're kind of just standing there, watching as the crate is hammered, and Kale is like nodding along. Must say, I had my doubts. I was ready to order Darek to well, make a mess of things. But if you must know, I can tell you everything there is to know about Ragnarobert.
Please.
And he'll kind of gesture to the four guards that are now in the room who lift the crate up and start to lower it into the back of the carriage, which, as you can now see, is designed to be unassuming. Like it looks like an unassuming passenger carriage. Um, and he kind of gestures to everything as well. He's working a very particular job for us. To be perfectly honest, the Phoenix has decided in its infinite wisdom to siphon information. There's three of us. Not all of us have to know everything that's happening. If we did, it'd be much more prone to a takeover. One person knows one part of a job, another person knows another. That way, there's reliability. We depend on each other for a successful operation. We will rise above where the cinder can fail. Cut off one head, two more shall rise in its place.
It's very checks and balances for a criminal enterprise.
Well, we learn from our mistakes. As I understand it, Ragnarobert is taking care of someone very important. Not a traditional stash and grab, more like find and kill. I believe you're familiar with his line of work in that department.
Yeah.
He's been hanging out at the Black Sun. Flicker oversees some of the information he's trying to gather. But as I understand it,
Oh man, that's funny.
Very
the hit is meant to go down in a couple of days. Rast has all the details.
And where's Rast?
Last I heard, he was camped out in some abandoned farmhouse on the east side of town. He likes to move around. Actually, this carriage is of his own design. Apparently became in great handy back in the day of the Syndicate, back when they dealt in more unsavory business.
Yes, your business is very savory now. I think we can all agree.
Well, it's just, let's say, not as bad. Child slavery isn't really all the rage these days.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And if your information isn't good, you know where I'll be.
I assure you, it's top class stuff. As much as this is, and he kind of pats the back of the wagon. And you are free to witness as the carriage starts to roll out of the warehouse.
Am I getting an express shipped to Sarah?
Brimmy, you can.
Or like an Amazon pack.
Well, actually, nothing's really happening. You just kind of hear the carriage rolling along.
Do I have my sending stone?
You do not. You
seen
don't
that?
have anything.
Oh! Do I still have my letter? It was probably
It was like stuffed
deep in my shirt.
inside. Yeah, you're good. You still
Yeah.
have your armor and all that. Like you're fully clothed in that sense. Like you have all that stuff, but you don't have your sword, your bag, or any other possessions.
As I'm leaving, I'm like, you better grab all my shit. I swear to fucking God.
I'm gonna talk to the guy
Kale.
fuck Kale, and I'm gonna go.
Hey, you ever? She carried some treats in her pocket that Buster really liked.
You could certainly buy it from one of our fences. We have to wait until it gets through processing, of course. Everything that we find at the guild is the guild's goods.
Sure. All right.
Never doing a Lazer Hawk plan ever again.
I'm starting to
Good
really
deal,
think
good
that
deal.
Lazer Hawk kind of just shipped Bran-win down the river.
You're a piece of shit. I worked so hard to get all the things.
Yeah,
Good
Lazer
deal,
Hawk,
good
what's your next
deal.
move?
I'm gonna go back to the Marigold estate.
Hello?
Yeah.
All right. Branwen, you roll along. You kind of lose track of time.
Bran-win is seething.
Where it's very different. I take back everything I said about this being a good duo. Where, um,
Just wait.
okay, sure. Um, and the carriage continues to roll along. You hear a great deal of hustle and bustle around you from the carriage perspective, as you can tell you're clearly moving through the main city. But then after some time, you can kind of hear the wood on stone of the wheels give way to wood and like dirt and mud. You get the sense that you've started to kind of roll out of the city.
Cool.
Okay. Are you doing anything?
I don't think there's anything I really can do.
All right.
Can I send a telepathic message to whoever's driving this?
Sure.
Hey, it's God. Let the girl out.
Are you attempting to throw your voice at all?
No, I'm using a telepathic sending.
Okay, so you're just using your own voice.
Unless,
Well, like I'm
yeah,
saying, like doesn't it come? It comes as your voice,
Branwen's real pissed off.
um, and you just hear. Did you hear that? Did did she just talk? Yeah, but She's a bard. The boss would have done something, right? Like knocked her out, gagged or something. No, I just heard that in my mind. Maybe she's a witch. We taking her to be
Not a
burned at the
witch.
stakes? Make a perception check to kind of continue to hear their conversation.
That is perception check. That's a 18.
Yes, so you can continue to hear their conversation. Because, no, we got very specific instructions. We're supposed to take her to that lake between Conway's Ferry and Mercian. If we take her there, we've got instructions. It said, by all means necessary, get her to take us over? That means, but boss set up a whole operation. We've got an outhouse. In asterisks and stars, it says to try drowning her. She's afraid of that.
Bad bitch.
Holy shit.
Lazer
What a
Hawk.
bitch.
You arrive back at the Marigold Estate after a pleasant walk through the late morning Trillwood. And can we take a short break so I can think about something?
You,
Yeah.
Brett, I'm so
And we're back. So, Laser Hawk, you arrive back at the Marigold Estate, kind of grinning ear to ear with the knowledge
No, no,
that
no. I'm
okay,
not.
very
I look solemn.
very solemn, uh, but at least fulfilled with the information that you have achieved. And you find that the estate's pretty abuzz with activity, that kind of people are going about their tasks and such. And Ellery is not currently at the estate at this time of day.
Oh shit. Well, there goes most of my plan.
Yes,
I
Can I see through the air holes at all?
you can see into a dark carriage.
Give me a second.
Okay.
Go on, Bort.
I am going to go up to where Bran-win slept. And I'm going to kind of point towards it and go, Buster, smell that shit at her bed. Not in a weird way, in a getting her scent kind of way.
Got it. Yeah, but Buster knows what you're doing, and Buster gives it a good sniff, and kind of like looks around and points in the general direction west.
I
Brent,
and I
go ahead. Sorry, Laser Hawk. I didn't realize you had more to do.
No, it's cool.
No, you still got stuff going.
Yeah, go
You
ahead.
better get started.
I go
Wait,
I go
get started.
downstairs, and if there's like anybody around, I'm just gonna be like, hey, you know where Elray went?
Downstairs, you find Puck puffing away on a cigar. Hey, I gotta get to the Australian accent. I don't know why it's a put another shrimp on the barbie. Yeah, he went to his office downtown, eh?
Hmm.
That's where he
Sounds about
works.
right.
Yeah.
I'm going to go there next.
Okay. Walking back and forth is taking you a bit of time.
Then I will not do that. Where is? I'll go.
Where's Eliana?
Uh, she's in the kitchen, I think.
All right.
You would put her in the kitchen, Chris.
She just happens to be there at this particular juncture.
Yeah, I find her and I say,
Can I have a word outside?
Sure. She follows you outside.
Fucked up.
Yes.
I need your help.
Okay. With?
You were
Why are
you were
you
in
here?
Borgen's band, right? You know how to
Yes.
fight? I
It's,
heard they're kind of a rough and tumble group.
it's been a while, but yes, I do.
Great.
and I take out my +1 dagger. I hand it to her, and I
Oh,
say,
I have my own stuff.
Even better. Uh, Come on, we got to go get Bran-win.
Is everything okay? Is she all right?
She'll be fine.
Okay, yeah, yeah. And she kind of very hurriedly runs into the house and returns within moments with a quiver full of arrows and her bow. And she's clearly replaced like walking around shoes with cinched up tight boots. And she just lead the way.
and I walk over and I go,
Buster, where is Bran-win?
He kind of cocks his head. And are you casting Speak with Animals, or are you using animal
yeah,
friendship?
yeah,
Okay.
I'll cast speak with animals.
And he kind of and immediately starts running off down the road and affording you an opportunity to follow.
We will.
I'll say, hold up, Buster. Buster, not yet.
And we're gonna go to the barn, and we're gonna get Maple.
All right.
Yay!
And I'm gonna kind of pet Maple. And ooh, that's fucking sick. I'm gonna cast Beast Bond on this on Maple,
Which does.
which it gives them whenever we're within line of sight of each other, it can understand my telepathic messages and can telepathically communicate simple emotions to me. It also gets advantage on attack rolls against any creature within 5 feet of me that I can see.
That's sick.
Yeah,
Very exciting.
I will do that. And I will kind of like, okay, I'm casting speaking with animals to Buster, and Buster's gonna like tell me verbally where she is so she can be our compass, and then we're gonna fly there on
Okay,
Maple
got it.
is the plan.
Uh, Aliana kind of hesitates in front of Maple and just like, does this thing trust you?
Yeah, Maple's cool.
Okay. Do we need backup? Should I call Elray? And she holds up a rock.
He's gonna be so mad at you.
Yeah, better call out, right?
Um, and she will kind of like talk into it like a walkie-talkie, and she'll be like, "Elray, I'm here with Mr. Lazer, and we need you here.
Major
Um,
laser.
and before even like the rest of the message is done, Laser Hawk, you're kind of standing there, and you have to shield your one good eye because basically a shimmering door opens up next to you, and Elray steps out. And up until this point, you've had a very begrudging respect with Elray, but he gets very close and personal with you. Where is Bran-win?
I let her be shipped express certified.
I look down at Buster and I look back at him and I say,
About to be right next to me. And you, both of us. We're getting her back right now.
Lead the way.
Meanwhile, what Branwen's been doing,
Yes.
I can see it through the box into the carriage. Misty step
Okay.
into the carriage proper, out of the box.
Out of the box, into
Yep.
the carriage.
Yes.
You hear as you are surrounded by two thugs and Darek, who are seated
Who?
in the Darek, the enforcer, the guy with the glaive.
Mhm.
So one of the thug kind of shrieks, and Darek is just there like, fucking elves. And so you're kind of just like seated there like this. And you're just,
I'm just gonna smile at him and make him make a wisdom saving throw.
oh damn!
Branwen is pissed.
Wisdom save. Ooh, 3.
I look at him and I just say, "Serve me," and I
So
cast a 5th level guess spell on him.
what is it? What is it?
He now has to follow my command, which is serve me, for the next 30 days.
For the next 30 days? That's crazy.
Yeah,
You're sitting there and you kind of like you're just kind of like sitting there smiling, and you say "serve me," and Dark is kind of like staring at you, and you watch as like his eyes almost kind of spin like a roulette machine. No, what do they call it? Slot machine. And then like come back out red, like the color of your hair. So they're like it's the color of your his eyes match the color of your hair, and kind of looks at you and just kind of like nods. And
tell
the
these
tooth,
idiots to leave.
he unbolts the door of the carriage while and it's like swings it open, and they're kind of like swinging back and forth as the carriage is going at full speed. Get out. And the thug's like, boss, get out. And he's gonna make an intimidation check to do so, which he's very good at. And that is a 15. And both of the thugs just go, he's gonna kill her. That's why he doesn't want us to get hit by all the blood. And so one is just going to like basically like swan dive out of the carriage, and the other will roll out as best as possible.
Unchain me.
He grabs a key off of his belt loop, and it's like 6 locks that he has to go through.
Yeah.
And he just unhinges like a good number of locks uh, until you are. Is there any like perpetual save for this? No, right? It's 30 days.
I mean, he can do a okay. If the creature can understand you, it must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or become charmed by you for the duration. While the creature is charmed by you, it takes 5d8 psychic damage each time, and it acts in a manner directly counter to your instructions, but no more than once each day.
Okay.
I can command anything I choose, short of an activity that would result in certain death.
Okay.
This spell is so broken. I love it.
Yeah. Wow. That's nuts. Yeah,
Um,
so inevitably you feel the weight like kind of break off of you as the final chain slips out of your off of your body.
thank you. All right, let's turn this bad boy around and head back.
He pounds on the front window. Turn us around. What was that, boss? Turn us around. Yeah, now. And you feel the carriage start to turn. Why did I put dark in here? Uh, and the carriage
I
turns
just put my
around,
feet up.
and you can hear the two other thugs that were kicked out of it go like, "Wait, come back!" As the carriage rolls off back down the road toward Trowood.
How's it going, man?
Despite the fact that you've said to serve him, he still stares at you very angrily. Like
I've
he
had a real
knows what's
shit
happening.
day. You kind of understand why I was worth $5,000, right?
Likewise.
You're doing a great job. I'll put in a good word.
Um, as you all are rolling along, um, because it's now you're heading towards each other, the time differential is much shorter. And so Lazer Hawk atop um, Aunt Maple, with Elray physically flying next to you. He is not on Maple. So basically, like as the two of you boarded Maple and kind of offered a hand to him, he just kind of like put his hands out and he just started levitating off of the ground and started
This
flying
is so
next to
Oh
you.
extra. I
man.
love it.
And basically like started flying towards you. And effectively, as soon as the carriage is in sight, Elray just asks, "That one?"
Oh shit, that's her.
Hold on.
Do they say any? Do I hear anything up top from them noticing that there's people flying at them?
Make a perception check because they have to as well.
I got a 15.
They do not. So you can't hear
Understood.
them notice anything out of the ordinary. However, make a dexterity saving throw.
Dexter, save me. That's a 15.
Okay. Let's see here. Surface, each pound 16. Okay. So the carriage is just like happily rolling along, and then Laserhawk, you witness as basically like Elray kind of like skids to a halt in the air, drops in front of the carriage, and then lifts his arms up into the air. And suddenly the carriage and all of its horses basically like crash against an invisible wall of force, sending. Unfortunately, the horses do not do too well in this situation. But the two people that are driving the caravan go flying off. Bran-win, you only take 11 points of bludgeoning damage. As basically, like, as soon as the carriage starts to crumple, you basically, like, somersault over and out and start rolling onto the field. So, Laserhawk and Ileana, you are the first to see Bramwin kind of fly out of the uh, fully unbound, completely free, and then you witness as Derek kind of skids out as well. What the fuck?
I'm going to make Maple kind of. Am I still in the air?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have Maple like dive bomb. And I'm gonna.
Stop, stand down, stand down.
Do I hear her?
Make a perception check. You are coming in pretty hot.
I did perceive pretty well. 25.
Oh yeah, you hear her. So basically, like you come like hurtling in on Maple. He pulls his glaive
Like
off of his
crossbows
back,
out.
holds it, and kind of like, come
I'm gonna
on.
stand down too.
And basically, as Bran-win like kind of shouts like "stand down," he immediately like pulls back the glaive and sits it at his side. And you're startled, but you hear the order as well and have the opportunity to kind of like careen um, Maple to the side. And Elroy quickly comes in like fist strong, ready to wield some magic.
I do stop Maple and get off, but still have my crossbow trained on Darek, and I look at Branwen and I go, "Yeah, I knew you'd be all right.
I slap him.
That's fair.
What the hell, man?
You take 2 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh my god,
Ow.
good job, me!
Bram, you kind of survey the field, see Elroy like kind of posed with magic, like you can see like bits of runes kind of dancing around his fingers, but he looks at you and he goes, like he's pleased with you. But you also see beyond you this stranger woman with an
That
arrow
random blonde woman.
basically like on the head of one of the drivers, who's now kind of like has their hands on the back of their head. And the other one is taken off for the runes.
Whatever, they're fine.
Can I? How far away is the guy that is in going to the woods?
He's about 50 feet away from you. He took a good. He looks pretty bruised. He's right. He's limping.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna shoot him to death,
Okay.
or at least try. Well, that's a nat one. But the second time my attack does hit, I think, if a 25 hits,
That'll hit.
a 15.
That doesn't. So how do you want to do this?
And then a 19.
How do you want to do this?
Oh, okay, yeah. I'll just turn towards him, shoot one or two crossbow bullets, and just
Yeah. So
like not even looking at him or paying.
basically,
any
like
mind to it.
you're Bramman, you're a little surprised because it's on the side that his eye patch is on. But Lazer Hawk just turns his crossbow, fires once, pulls back twice, fires a second time, and you just like watch in the distant field as the thug goes, as both bolts kind of like land in his upper left shoulder, and he kind of crumples into the field. And Aelion like holding the arrow. Oh, are we doing this?
Give it a second. All right, I turn to big guy with the glaive.
Darwick.
Tell me the truth. Did you have anything to do with human trafficking with the Cinderkin?
Well,
Inside check just
I
to be
mean,
safe.
just now, but no.
Just now, you were the first one.
This is my
Cool.
first.
This is my first time. All right, tell
Oh my god.
this idiot over here everything he wants to know about Ragnarobert.
Last I heard, he was
And
working.
don't leave out any details.
Last I heard, he was working with Flicker. She's got him collecting information on the Black Sun, trying to make sure he's got Thomas Blunt's routine backwards and forwards. Rast's got something special planned for dear old Mayor.
Oh shit.
Well, that's a bit more information than I thought. Should we kill him?
Do you think that you're redeemable in any way and can stop living a life of crime or whatever?
Okay, Ellery even kind of like looks over at you and
No, you can help on the co-op.
will arrest him and bring him for trial. His testimony could be quite adept at making sure that the Phoenix are properly dealt with.
I also wanted to see if you could live on the co-op for a little while. That's
Yes.
mostly it.
Not someone you want living on the co-op, Brand.
It's worked before.
It's not this guy. He's a killer, Brendan. He just tried to have you carted across the country. Where were you taking me?
Got better.
Wow, the
They were
lake.
taking me to the lake.
Well, what were you planning on doing over there?
Oh no, they were gonna hand me over to Seraphil, who was gonna force me to then let her over from the Feywild into this plan, but it's kind of all moot now since she's already here. So like, she probably
Seraphil.
just
Who the
wouldn't
fuck
get
is
into it.
Seraphil?
Don't worry about it.
I look at Elray. I go, there was no danger.
You've lost the right to talk at the moment. I'll see to it that he is delivered to the marshals. They'll come around and kind of materialize a pair of handcuffs and place them onto Darek.
Ellery, you're super cool.
All in a day's work.
You Lazer Hawk, you're a piece of shit.
At the moment. Let's go get your shit back. Kill Ragnarobert.
You didn't even grab my stuff? I slap him again.
You take 1 point of bludgeoning damage.
You know what? No, wait.
I was a little
We can use
focused on
this.
getting you back before your stuff.
There's a lot of absolutely priceless things in there.
All right, let's go get him.
All right, no, this guy's coming with us. I point to big guy with the glaive, Derek.
Darek.
Derek.
It's my younger brother, actually.
Darek kind of looks over and says, "Oh yeah," and Ellery also goes, "Yeah." And he looks. Is there a plan this time? I feel like there wasn't a plan last time.
Can have
Plan
this
is-
guy go get my shit back and come back.
That seems like a very good plan.
You're welcome. Good.
Fair enough.
All right, we go back.
All right.
I'm gonna, as we get close, I'm gonna disguise self, and I'll tell Marek. Tell them you found a buyer for all of my stuff. You say nothing about me getting out. You say nothing about how you serve me now. You say nothing about what happened to the carriage. You get my stuff, you bring it directly to me. As he's now looking up the rules to this spell. Bran-win has become too powerful.
Randy's
And
had
it's
this
all
spell
because
for a
she
while, and he's never used it.
it's
No, he
all
used it once.
because
And it
she
failed.
woke up grumpy.
Lazer Hawk and Branwen, partners in Grump.
I'm gonna kill you. It was so fun until you were like,
I was gonna get you after.
you didn't even get my stuff. It's like the time that my Revenant character died, and I knew that I was coming back, but the rest of my party didn't. So then one of the guys, in a sentimental gesture, threw all my money off a and I was just sitting there pretending to fill out a new character sheet going, man, it's 300 gold and we're level 1. That's shame.
Also, I like the idea of not Randy, goddamn it, of Laserhawk purposefully sabotaging his own reputation.
Freaking Laserhawk. Laserhawk used to be my best friend. Now,
Laserhawk was never your friend.
well, you were my new best friend because it got, yeah, because the meme.
Yeah.
Now you're not. Brenna thought she was gonna get to do a cool
Okay,
cool
I'm cool.
subterfuge mission, blow off some steam, but no.
You're still gonna get to blow off a steam.
Just
Just one, Steve.
Okay. I think I've got it. I'm good with this. All right. You return to the city.
Can I make Merrick make an intelligence check to see if he knows the rules of the spell I cast on him?
Derek? Daric?
Dar
Daric does not know the rules of this spell. Um, you enter, or rather, you enter the city. Um, and what are you disguising yourself as?
Just a completely average. I'm maybe just like kind of some henchman looking kind of person.
Okay. Um, you venture into the city. Aliana and El Rey break off and head back to the estate, assuming you have it well in hand. Um, you venture back through the city and toward the. By the time you reach the warehouse, it is about like late afternoon, with the sun starting to get a little bit lower in the sky over the far side of the mountains. Excuse me, to the west. Um, and you re-enter the warehouse, or rather, you guys stay outside.
Yeah,
But okay, so you're gonna stay outside, and Daric heads in.
Derek.
Daric.
Barrick.
Maverick. It's Tom Cruise, actually.
Cramston.
Okay.
Rambly Doodles. Romston.
Okay. So about 10 minutes go by, and Branwen, make a perception check.
That is a 19.
Okay. You hear a rather pained scream, like someone go inside.
Rutro Raggy. Big sigh. Can I? Is there like a little vantage point where I can peek in or something?
So there's kind of like a wall leading up the side of the warehouse, um, and there is a like there's a stack of crates that you could theoretically attempt to climb and get a peek inside.
Yeah.
Make a dexterity check and an investigation check to follow.
Can this be acrobatics to get up there?
Sure.
Nice. That's 19. And then investigating is going to be a dirty 20.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to easily kind of climb your way up, and like poke your head up. And what you catch at the tail end is a group of bodies running out the front side of the warehouse where you sent Daric in. Um, and Lazer Hawk, make a perception check as she's kind of doing that.
Ooh, 12.
Okay. You don't notice anything out of the ordinary until coming around the corner of the warehouse is Kale kind of flexes and tightens the iron around his wrist and then clenches his fist. He goes, I really, he cracks his knuckles. I really don't like being lied to. I thought we had a bargain. And Branwen, as you kind of push yourself off and onto the ground and land deftly, you
Oh,
see.
I don't. I'm hiding. I'm hiding, dude.
So you're gonna try to hide yourself behind the.
Yeah, it's in these crates.
Okay, make a stealth check.
Oh, that's not super great. That's a 15.
Oh yeah. So basically, like you hear his voice, and you attempt to kind of like duck behind the crates on the other side, and you see three more thugs kind of walking down the alleyway to you, and you can open up the owl bear.
Look at Chris got his
I
combat.
did.
He did it.
Who's the big scrambler?
That's me.
Okay, so yeah, you see Kale kind of standing there, flexing the iron on his gauntlet. Now, well, I may have gotten my combat. I need to change some things. He goes, I really don't like being lied to. You see, Derek is my best man. We grew up
Derek?
together. He grew up together. He'd do anything for me. Even cleave his mind in two with whatever voodoo magic you decided to place on top of him. I knew you were fucking dangerous, and I don't like making mistakes. But the difference between myself and my, call them counterparts, is I clean up after my mistakes. And I'll have the two of you roll initiative. So you don't see Darik, but you do see 6 thugs and Kale.
I got a 15.
Got an 18.
Okay. 18, got a 15. Okay. Now I gotta label these suckers. What do I have? I have 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So first things first, it is thug number 8's turn. And Kale just be, get him, boys.
Get him, boy!
And this guy's gonna drop back and shoot
Yeah,
at Bran-win with his crossbow.
Even though she's hiding?
She's not hiding. She's very clearly seen. So they came around the bend. That is a 15 to hit, which I don't think hits, right?
it does not.
Okay, so that doesn't hit. Then it's Phoenix Thug's number 1 turn. And he's going to shoot at Lazer Hawk. Oh, 21 to hit.
That'll. Oh, can I have better armor? I
Uh,
asked you before last session, but you didn't respond.
oh, I'm sorry. I must have missed it. I would say you could have +1 by armor by now for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on.
The heaviest you can wear is like, I think it's medium +1.
I can wear medium armor, yeah, but I would be wearing light armor. That does hit.
Okay. So that is going to be 8 piercing damage. And with that, it is Branwen's turn.
I'm going to stand up and start casting a spell, but hold it slightly. I'm going to have a handful of fire. I'm going to call down, do you really want me to set your whole warehouse on fire? I feel like that would draw the wrong kind of attention to a group like you guys. So how about you let us go in, I get my shit, and then I leave.
Make an intimidation check.
Can Buster be there and be mad?
Yeah, Buster's with you all the time, but it's not going to help you in this particular situation.
No fucking way.
That's not 20, baby, for a total of 28. Wait, not 28. I think it's 26.
Kale kind of. Fuck. He stays.
I look at Laser Hawk.
I look up at her and smile.
You know, he's got a hot date to get to. He comes with me.
Fine.
Bran
Give
would
me
have
all
the
my
no
shit.
good, very bad, horrible day.
I think this is a great ending to Bran-win's day. Um,
I'm just saying she's pissed.
he just kind of whistles,
Branwen is so mad.
but he does like the teeth whistle, like, which I can't do, so I'll just do. Um, and Darik comes out, and you can see there's a bit of blood trickling from his ear and his eye, um, and he's just kind of like staring at you angrily, and he just dumps your shit in a pile in front of you. Uh, and Kale's gonna get up very close to you, Brandon. Kind of like because your back's kind of up against the wall and you've got the flame holding there. He's gonna place the metal gauntlet up against it and do like the romance novel, like lean in.
Ew.
Yeah. And he goes, savor this victory. The Phoenix is not to be trifled with. And I think that you'll find my companions to be, well, less calculating, less forgiving. You're lucky I'm just smart enough to know what's hurtful to a new operation.
You're really lucky that the
Don't,
person that was supposed to pick up me as a bounty didn't show up to your warehouse.
don't push your luck. Get out.
Pick up all my stuff. Give Derek a wink. And I will walk away.
For the first time, Lazer Hawk will follow Bran-win and kind of whistle to Buster to follow him.
Okay. So ends combat. All right. Where to next?
Shout
As
out
we're
to
walking away,
Bardwin in true Bard form. I was gonna cast Fireball. I gave it to Branwen to be funny.
I mean, like,
6th level Fireball.
that's like literally like you played that so well. We'll talk about it afterwards. It's weird to metagame with that. Well done.
Branwen is pissed. Okay.
as we're walking away, Lazer Hawk is going to go,
That was pretty cool.
Got him. You're
Still
really
in?
lucky that I also really hate these people. Yes, I'm still in. But you're gonna have more. They're gonna be really, really pissed, and they know where I stay. So once I'm gone again, you better fucking keep watch over the Marigold estate, or I will come hunt you down. And toy around with your little mind like I did with Derek's.
I'm helping you. I thought that was the plan.
You tipped me like Amazon package. And I woke up grumpy.
I was going to get you back. And I knew that you had some tricks up your sleeve, didn't I?
It honestly didn't really feel like it.
I was going to come get you either way. Elray's not a person that I, am friends with, but I respect him. I wouldn't let something happen to you. He would perhaps never let me in this town again.
Oh, I was gonna say he'd probably somehow magically like take all your skin off your body or something.
Yeah, or that. He's pretty good at that.
I've never seen that guy mad, but I feel like if he ever did get really, really mad, it'd be really scary.
Might get to see it tonight.
What?
when I go back.
Yeah,
To
that'll
get
be
my
fun
shit.
actually. I'm gonna
Well,
also keep an eye out to make sure we're not being followed.
Make a perception check.
17.
17. You kind of scan quickly, like over your shoulder multiple times, and don't sense anyone following you.
Just to be safe, I'm gonna pat uh Laser Hawk upside the head and cast invisibility on both of us.
Okay. Where are you two headed?
Back to the marigold.
Black Sun?
We're going there right now?
I guess we don't have to.
Used a lot of really high level spell slots today, man.
Black Sun?
Unless you think you can actually handle this one.
I mean, if you need a break, then we can go back. But
No, I can keep going. Don't expect too many fireworks from me.
yeah, I won't sell you off this time. I think this will be a lot easier.
All right, lead the way.
I go to Black Sun.
Right. You do know, as a member of what is now kind of Trowood's societal elite, how to find the Black Sun. It is in the Merchants District. So you're in the more upscale part of town. Bran-win, this is actually very familiar to you as it's one of the first places that you ever met the rest of the gang in Trowood. Just
Whoa.
down the road from the old market square and the clock tower. In
They took the
fact,
perpetual soup?
you can even see it's not near there. It's actually in the opposite direction. Like so, like if the perpetual suit goes one way, this is the opposite way. But you can make a perception check as you walk through the market square.
19.
There is a small commemorative plaque on a corner building with yours, Randy's, Dunk's, and Willem's faces on it, commemorating the first unification of the group that ended the deity cult threat.
Shit!
Nice.
Look at that. That's crazy.
Um,
Wait.
at,
Lazer Hawk's name isn't on there?
Lazer Hawk's name is not on there.
But he was in the fight!
I don't know what to tell you. Um,
I look at it and I say,
That's bullshit. I was there.
um, as you make your way to the Black Sun, it stands in pretty stark contrast. It's a very narrow door. Like you even kind of have to like slink in. It's something of a speakeasy. You get the sense. Um, it's very dark inside. The curtains are drawn, and by the time you get there, it is twilight. Like the evening has kind of given way to the setting sun, and night has begun to fall. Um, the building's kind of black lacquered facade. There's a golden sunburst eclipsed by a shadow, almost like a total eclipse is about to occur on its side. The narrow staircase or the narrow doorway gives way to a very narrow staircase that takes you up to a second floor tavern. Um, and it's clearly very upscale in every detail. Dark wood paneling, plush cribs and drapes. Um, the place is quite hopping. There are a lot of people hobnobbing, drinking from wine glasses. There's a single saxophone player in the far corner. Kind of
I love when I show up to the club and the people are hobnobbing, dude.
Yeah, this is a hobnobbing club for sure.
What
Um,
does that mean? I don't even.
it means like, you don't say.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that happening.
Can I find if I look that up right now? Is that what I'll find in the dictionary? The
A
going.
hundred, 100%. Well, spiced wine, roasted meats, um, and the clientele. Make a perception check as you get up there.
17.
23.
Both of you can see that very different clientele than the Dockside Tavern. Most people seem to be well-heeled merchants, wealthy travelers. Some people look a little bit too polished, like they're trying too hard. Like this might be a location for new money. And there are a few servers that seem to glide through the room with practiced ease. Um, there is a bartender on the far side, but the bar is like rather tight. It's like a little semicircle that nobody sits at. Everywhere is like more like conversation booths and small tables that people are sitting at.
Um, I am gonna need you to repeat what you just said. I was thinking about what I was gonna do, and then got distracted and didn't listen to the description of the place.
There's a lot of people. They're hobnobbing. There's a small bar that nobody sits at. It's strictly where the drinks are made. Where there is a peculiarly horned bartender. She's a beautiful young woman with small horns behind the bar. And she's tending bar. And she has something like a disarming smile. But there's nobody seated at the bar. Most people are kind of like seated at small tables or in conversation booths. Is that a Twizzler? Hell yeah. Um, and um, yeah, that's the lay of the land at the
Okay.
moment.
Then I will go up to the bar.
Do you both sit? Or are you doing another like fake handoff again?
I'm not doing another fake
Okay, yeah.
handoff.
So
You
you're
do it again.
you're
Or
Oh,
am I? I don't know. No, I'm just kind of leaning up against the bar, assuming that I'm not invisible anymore.
yeah. I would
yeah.
assume you kind of dropped invisibility as you went into the
Yeah.
location. Just good evening and welcome to the Black Sun. Something on the menu I can get for you? Something
Howdy, I'm
off menu?
looking for somebody named Phoebe.
Her eyes kind of flickered. The flicker is unavailable. May I ask who calls upon her?
Can I insight check that?
Sure.
12.
You don't really glean anything too much from them.
Okay. Just looking to discuss a little piece of business with her.
And what business might that be? And she looks over at you, Bryn.
I wink.
Careful,
The
friend.
business of something with the Phoenix.
Mind your tongue, friend. Those kinds of things can cost a lot up here. And of course, you wouldn't know anything about that.
Sure, I'm sure you wouldn't.
Now, if there's no interest in a particular spirit, I'm more than happy to put something together for you.
Look, I'm sure you recognize me, yeah?
Haven't the
I
foggiest.
guess they're making a statue of me.
I meet a lot of interesting people.
Lazer Hawk.
Oh, right. The bounty
I
hunter.
was told by Kale that y'all would have a second piece of the information pie, as it were, on the thing that I'm looking for. I made a big deal with Kale, and he told me to come here next. So I will talk to Phoebe, or I will have to take it up with him. Tell him he
Kale,
got me wrong information.
Kale knows that compartmentalization is important. I'm sure he
That's why he
wouldn't
sent
send
me
you.
here.
Sure he wouldn't send you here to ask questions during business hours.
When would you rather I come?
It's not my decision to make. Unless, of course, you have a way of making it interesting.
What'd you say?
Unless, of course, you have a way of making it interesting.
What do you have in mind?
Bartenders do love tips.
Do I have any gold on me?
Damn, you should have taken the money, dude. That would be
You
really
say
funny,
that?
actually. Yeah, I do say that. I'm saying you should take it.
And I'm afraid I haven't seen your face here before. Just who might you be, pretty thing?
Just passing through. You make a promiscuous girl.
I'm not sure I know what that is. But if you're looking for one, I can recommend a few.
No, I'm taken. Sorry.
The good ones always are.
What time do y'all close?
2.
That's pretty soon, damn.
It's the middle
Yeah,
of
it's crazy. It's 1:50.
the Yeah, we actually close in 3 minutes.
I go to like whatever table is open and I just sit there and wait.
Paying customers get tables, dude.
I like
I'm giving. No, I'm not going to tell her how to make a promiscuous girl. She doesn't deserve that. I'll also get a whiskey.
Okay. After a few minutes, she brings the whiskey over to the table, and you two imbibe. Make a perception check.
Damn. I'm rolling. This is what I get for all the good rolls that I got during the Randy sesh.
Mm.
I've been rolling all the things that Bran-win is good at. It's great. That's a
7.
20. That's a 25.
Yeah, Bran-win. So Lazer Hawk is just kind of standing there, like kind of pouting over his whiskey, and because he only has one eye, he can't see a damn thing. Um, and Bran-win, you're kind of sitting there making sure that you're clocking every single person that comes through. Um, and while no one really seems to pay any mind except for one table on the far side of the bar. So you came up a flight of stairs to get up here. Then there's a loft area that is like basically like 2 steps up, where it's in between the loft. There's a group of people playing pool, and some card tables that are set up. And then on the far side, there's a very large conversation booth. And seated in that booth is a platinum haired woman, who kind of like has half of her hair draped in front of one of her eyes. And basically, like, as you're scanning the room, you can see her like push the hair out of her eyes and start whispering to a dark elf on her left. And she maintains like a constant eye contact with your table.
I probably see the hair first and then do a double take.
You love your blondes.
uh, no, because Cena has really light hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lazer Hawk. Head up. There's people watching us in the loft. You're not very good at your job.
I'm amazing at my job. I'm not very good at talking to people.
I'm not talking, I'm just watching.
Laser Hawk, you follow her eye line and you can see that is most definitely Phoebe Flicker.
Hmm.
That place, that like section isn't like roped off or anything, is it?
No, not roped off.
I'm gonna.
Gonna make eye contact and just smile.
Oh, I'm actually not gonna do anything either. I'm just gonna tip my hat and lay back and sip my whiskey, waiting for kind of the people to start to trickle out.
Okay. The people do indeed start to trickle out after about 2 hours of waiting. But she remains in there with her booth with 2 dark elves on either side of her. Um, and after some time, she does inevitably kind of look over towards the bartender and go. And Misha bartender, brings over 2 more glasses of whiskey and says, Flicker will see you now.
I take the whiskey. I do not drink it. But yeah, start to head over. and like look to Branwen to make sure that she's following.
I'm following.
Okay.
And I'm going to cast somewhat silently detect poison and disease
Make
on
a
these
stealth check.
drinks. That is something I am good at, but not right now. 12.
Most people notice you. In fact, like Misha kind of follows alongside to be like kind of her tray class. Like basically, like she allows the two of you to each take a drink, and then she clasps the tray up against her chest with like two hands, and looks down and watches as you kind of go. And you can tell that yours is not poisoned. Uh, and
Yeah,
she
but
goes,
mine is.
"Well, he's only checking his."
Yeah.
And she goes,
Does Branwen have that nail polish that will change color if your drink has been drugged?
I don't believe so.
Damn.
And Misha just goes, this is a finer establishment. We don't poison our guests.
Yeah, Lazer Hawk. No.
Can't be too careful with the Phoenix.
Sure. And she steps away back towards the bar as you walk up onto the loft. And as you approach the booth, the two drow women stand up and immediately kind of block your path and your vision of Flicker. And they kind of stand there, and you can see up close how cut these two women are.
Oh my God.
Like they are clearly like well-trained warrior women, and they're wearing like elegant gowns, but they're cut in all the right places to give them complete freedom of movement. Like they are clearly dressed for, close-up combat. Um, they look at you, and you hear in the background, "It's fine, darling. Let them through. Let them through." And the two step aside, and she immediately like leans back, puts her feet up on the booth table, and go, "Hey, Toots, Lazer Hawk! It is an absolute pleasure to finally meet you. Oh my god! I'm sorry, I'm trying to get into Fran from whatever the nanny. I'm trying to get into Fran's voice. I'll get there in just a minute. He
It's
talks
fine.
in
We
the
don't
back
know
of my
this
notes.
reference, so you're
I don't.
good.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll make it
It
later.
can be anything.
Yeah, I'll get it later. Welcome. There we go. Welcome, welcome. Sit, sit. I insist. You have to sit. Lazer Hawk and Branwen Foxbriar. Foxy Bran-win. Ah, the bounty posters are all the rage with you, doll. I can only imagine that he's here to turn you in. Is that right?
I already did that.
And yet here she stands. How peculiar! Dish the dish, bitch. Please take a seat. Take a seat.
I do, and I lean back very similarly to her.
Just, oh, I love it when people get casual. Good, good. We're friends here. We're friends.
I nonchalantly take out my crossbow and just kind of load a
As
bolt
soon
into the
as you do that, one of the drow women like immediately like basically from like you didn't even see it like her lengthy arm length sleeve of her dress like a dagger flees out of it and is at your throat. Uh, and she
And
goes,
I
"Oh,
also,
oh, don't worry, don't worry. He wouldn't be dumb enough to come in here and try to make this messy, would you? These rugs are imported. But if you force my hand, you force her hand.
I wasn't planning on it.
So why don't we put our toys away? Yeah?
He unloads the bolt, puts it into his, I guess, quiver. I don't know what bolts are held
puts it
in.
behind his ear like a little pencil.
Yeah. The knife
Yeah,
stays there
in his
until Flicker goes, "We're good, honey." So, Dockside didn't go as planned, but now you're in better hands. Mine. If you think you're going to get a better deal for me, I promise you won't. 5,000. But to be honest, now you've pissed off the guild, so probably the best I could do is 4.
I don't want your damn money.
Well, word
I think
travels
I'm worth at
fast.
least 450.
I think you're worth your weight in gold. But I don't set the
Okay.
prices.
Where's Ragnarobert, Bastard Son of Catastrophil?
Wow, right into the questions. It's so interesting. You make a mess of things downtown, and you come to me expecting answers? Expecting me not? Again, like I said, imported rugs. So you can understand why I didn't have you killed on sight. But I'm intrigued enough to understand what makes you think you're brazen enough to think that I should do business with you. Because do you know what separates the wheat from the chaff in this line of work? Not strength, not cunning, reliability. I like to know that my crops are going to do okay. I don't want a field that gives me 10 times whatever I expected. I certainly don't want a field that gives me 5 less than I was expecting. I want to know I'm going to get what I pay for. And with you, darling, I can't see in your eyes. So how am I supposed to know what you're thinking? Convince me you're still reliable and why I should give you even an ounce of information, sweetheart.
I'll reliably kill you if you don't.
That's intriguing. You have to imagine my surprise. I promise you, you might get a shot off. But do you want to test them? They were born with knives in their hands. I found them underground. They're not. I didn't think that was that funny. Why is that so funny?
Like they're mole people.
I feel like that's something that they'd say on Riverdale. They were born with knives in their hands. I found them underground.
Well, I did. I found them underground. They had no parents. They only had their blades. And so I tell you, they were born scrappy. They're not mole people. Stop laughing at them. Stop laughing at them.
I'm laughing.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. So don't come into my place of business and start acting all high and mighty, all tough, all right? Because I know you got out of basically by the skin of your teeth, appealed to Kale's reasonable nature. Yeah, let me tell you something, sweet cheeks. I ain't so reasonable. So if you want anything out of me, you leave her here and you never come back. And you can expect an answer in your inbox in a week or so.
That's not gonna cut it.
Well, I'm afraid that's the cost of doing business these days. Sorry, Toots. It's nothing
Quick
personal.
question.
Yeah.
If you leave me here, are you gonna put me in a box and ship me like an Amazon package?
No, we have we're pretty delicate. We're good to cargo. Not like Brast, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, that really sucked. Um, so what are you're gonna just ship me right to where I'm supposed to be going?
Well, I don't really like to share my plans, willy nilly.
It really matters to me, honestly.
Unfortunately, your opinion doesn't matter to me, sweetheart. So I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. Well, the real wild card in this situation isn't me, sweetheart. And it sure as hell ain't you. I get it. You seem feisty, but we've already gotten the download. He's the problem. And the worst thing about playing cards is when you're playing with a wild card. Because when you play with a wild card, you tend to be playing with people who don't know what they're doing. So they need like a little bonus. They need a designed rule to cheat. I don't like to cheat. I like my games played fair. Because real men and women make their own luck. And I feel pretty lucky. Do you?
Um, that plaque outside of town, or the plaque in the town center.
Yeah.
Those 4 people. Is their business any kind of, I don't know, you deal in gossip, right? Is their business any kind of interest to you? Trade some information for information.
On the other 3?
Yeah.
But I still get to keep her?
Well, no, I can tell you where to find the other 3.
Oh, but
That's
see,
3 for 1.
she's right here. And those 3 aren't here. So I've got my ticket to finishing a contract that's been posted for 6 weeks. Now, we haven't gotten any, urgent requests. But if the Phoenix can't deliver, then the Phoenix isn't well respected. And I need us to be respected. I need our influence. So you're giving me a one-way ticket to influence right here. And she's gonna grip your face, Branwen, and just kind of shake it. Like, look at this little face. Ah, she's our ticket. And you brought
You
her
know
right
she's
here.
worthless, right?
To somebody, she's worth something, dear. It's not for me to decide.
To the person who posted that bounty, she's worthless.
They already paid us. So all I care about is making sure that we deliver. Because then if word gets around that we don't deliver, we're done before we even get out of the starting gate.
I look over at Bran-win for, I don't know, something.
I'm gonna telepathically message him. Are you planning on just handing me over again?
Are you two in cahoots? What's the deal here? Like, I mean, I figured this much based on what I heard went down at the docks. But, like, this seems like you. Do you ever plan anything, or are you kind of flying by the seat of your pants? Because we got you by
I
the
message
short hairs here.
I message her back.
Kind of seems like our hand is dealt.
Fine. But you can tell Elray.
Oh, I meant that in a like I will not do that kind
Oh,
of
okay,
like
cool. I
we,
thought
we
I
already
was
we already
like,
tried that and are but
I'm getting old here.
what kind of things do you want to know?
She's got a lot more information than I do.
Why would I want to know anything? I just want you, dear. You're what we're paid for.
Mm,
So I'm trying to deliver on that deal. I understand it's hard. And listen, this is the nasty side of the business that Rask was more into. It's not our favorite line of work, but the reality of the situation is they want you alive. So what could be the harm?
I'll just take her to rest. It's cool.
No, 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 no. See now, you brought her here. And you've already gone through one. Now you brought her here. You think I'm going to let you
How
walk out
about
the door with a fresh bounty?
here? How about I make a proposition?
Oh, I like propositions. Let's hear it, dear.
Yeah. I'll go with you. I won't struggle. I won't cause do any silly little shenanigans like I did last time. You know that guy
Yeah.
Derek?
Well, I'm well aware. Word on the street is not good for him. Let's say his prospects got a lot harder today.
Yeah.
But go on.
That was because of me.
Hmm.
I won't pull anything like I did with him. I'll hang out with you guys till you decide to, I don't know, let me ride a nice little carriage, get to the lake, whatever. I'll go willingly. fine. As long as before any of that happens, you let this man talk face to face with Ragnarobert or whatever the hell his name is.
Ragnarobert, the bastard son of Catastrophil.
Yes, that exactly.
Is that what this is all about, dear? Revenge is an
I
old
asked you about
man's
it
game.
immediately.
Yeah, well, it just, you never know what you're up to. And revenge is a poor man's game.
I've tried to tell him.
All right, dear. So, forgive me, because things are getting a little interesting here, I have to say. So you're telling me that you'll turn yourself over to me, no harm, no foul, but you're already here, and we've kind of got you surrounded. So you have to make it a little bit more worth my while. So you're just saying you're not going to struggle? We have ways of making sure you don't struggle. And they're not unpleasant either. They're perfectly fine.
I can be a lot more trouble than I'm worth.
Okay, fair enough.
Trust me.
So you're not going to be troublesome, and all we have to do is arrange for a meeting between the Bastard Son of Catastrophil and One Eye over here.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is intriguing. You see, Ragnarobbert's working on some stuff for us, and I kind of need him in tip-top shape, and something tells me you don't want to leave him in tip-top shape. So you have to forgive me if I'm not leaping at the opportunity to put you in front of him. But I'll make you a deal, Hawk. A better
Lazer
one.
Hawk.
Lazer Hawk, whatever.
Thank you.
A better one. I'll put you in with Ragnarobert. I'll put you in with Ragnarobert tonight. You can do whatever you want with him. You gotta finish his job.
And what's that?
Deal or no deal. I'm letting
I
you
like
in.
to know what I'm signing up for before I get into it.
Fine. But the girl doesn't stay for it. Too good.
I look over at Bran-win. I go, "You sure?"
Oh, she can come back. I think it'd be nice if we celebrate over a drink. But for this part, she goes. Don't worry. They'll take good care of you.
All right.
I'm gonna telepathically message Lazer Hawk. This is your last fucking chance, dude. Is this really what you want? And you
Uh,
better be ready for the consequences.
and I can message her back.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
All right. The girls, being the two drow women, escort you to the bar and just sit with you, Branwen. It's a very nice. They don't talk to you, but it's pleasant. They're not, they're not gruff. In fact, like you kind of stand up, and they both kind of just gesture you over to the bar where Misha is still there. She goes, "Fix you something, dear."
Yeah, so the promiscuous girl goes like this.
And you start describing it, and she's just kind of like nodding along. Um, and as soon as they're sufficiently out of earshot, Flicker turns to you, Laserhawk. Goody. Oh, goody, goody, goody. We've wanted you on the payroll for a long time, doll. And I think once you do this, it's going to be hard to say no to future work because you're going to be hard pressed to find work in this town again.
So what's the job?
Well, Rast knows all the details. But let's just say you can read between the lines. This is a hobnobbing place. People like to come here and share their stories, especially those that work down at the Great Hall. Right? They know Thomas Blunt's every coming and going, where he eats, where he prays. They know he visits the cemetery. pray on dear old aunt and say a little nice word for Baron Fowler. May he rest in peace. Ain't that funny? Why, somebody wants to know everything that's going on with good old Thomas Blunt. And you tell me, Lazer Hawk, a town without a leader, in a time where the have-nots and the haves, things are at an all-time peak. And funny enough, something I've had Ragnarobert working on over the past couple weeks is finding some ne'er-do-well have-nots. Just to make sure I got some sticky fingers I could lay somewhere if things go awry. So, I put you in a room tonight with Ragnarobert, and you finish the job.
Yeah, I'll finish the job.
Now, goody. But there's one more thing that you should know. This ain't one of them bounties that you used to. You can't just show up the day of with a wild plan in your head and fire in your eye. She kind of points at just the one. Fire in the eye, right? And hope for everything to work out. No. This here's a blood deal. When you sign up, it is what it is. 50,000 gold's all yours.
What makes it a blood deal?
Well, let's just say you sign in blood, you pay in blood. This here could be the last job you ever take, one way or another. Falling into Southern. This could be the last job. No, it's fine.
It's good. It's good.
It's good. Highway, low way. The low way pays better. Do we have a deal?
Um,
Hold on.
Let me think.
While he's thinking, I use my sending stone to message Cena. Hey, girl, you up?
You receive
Miss
no
you.
response. One of the women turns to you, Bran-win. He is your friend, no? You are fully content with him just dropping you off somewhere as if you are a common cargo?
Oh, you already did it once today.
We do not
This was the second time.
we do not ship our cargo in crates. Don't worry. You'll be well taken care of.
Oh, cool. Will there be snacks?
We can make sure that that happens. Though we
Nice,
find that
awesome.
most circumstances you are not that hungry during your journey.
All right.
It is okay.
Cool. I just kind of sit for a second.
Misha,
Oh wait, okay.
Misha passes you a very quality promiscuous girl. It's not of the
Oh,
same
yeah.
par of the Feywild, but it's good enough.
I give it a little sniff. Does it smell like drugs?
Make a medicine check.
Does my thing? Oh, it could.
Yeah, you wouldn't
But
really know
that's
any
just how
difference.
a promiscuous girl smells.
But as you kind of like, you sniff it pretty clearly, Misha looks and she goes, I mean, we don't drug, especially women. at the bar.
I appreciate that. I drink it and then immediately pass out because it was drugs. No. Or it looks like he had a eureka moment.
Well, let's hear it.
Can I speak with Bran-win?
We made her leave so that she couldn't know what the job was.
I won't
Do you
tell
have a friendship with this girl, or are you turning her in? Everything's getting a little weird. The lines are blurring, honey bun. And my patience is thinning.
Look, I just want to say goodbye. I won't tell her a thing, I promise.
Fair enough. And she kind of gestures for Branwen, and the ladies bring you back over.
Show up with my promiscuous girl.
Oh my god, that looks amazing! What is that?
You want to try it? It's called a promiscuous girl.
I don't really like to share drinks, dear. Flicka doesn't kiss and tell. So I'll have Misha make me one later.
I told her how. It's gonna take over this town. I know it.
Awesome. I think we might get along.
What am I doing back up here?
I just wanted to say that if I never, I'll be hearing your voice in my head for a long time to come, and it's been an honor being your friend.
In his head, I hear, "What do you?" He just hears, "What do you want?"
I'm going to make, or
I'm gonna make a deal.
You need to explain further. For
They want me to kill Thomas Blunt. I'm not gonna do it.
Phoebe is like looking between you.
I'm feigning looking longingly into her
Still-
eyes.
Make a performance check.
Lazer Hawk.
No,
I am
that
snatching-
one.
All right. I think we've had
It's so
enough of this. Take her to the back.
All right. All right. I'll go.
And she'll kind of gesture, Misha, bring the papers. And Misha will kind of like raise her eyebrows and then produce a small key from a chain on her bracelet and open a door behind the bar. And she disappears for a few minutes before coming back out with a thin piece of parchment. Like it's almost paper thin is one thing. This is like tracing paper thin, where you can even like kind of see some of that shit. And Flicker holds it over the candlelight, and you can see it. The words only appear in the flame, um, and you can see basically that you're agreeing to a commitment with the Phoenix for. It does not explicitly say that you're going to be killing Thomas Blunt, but it says that you are handling mission per as described between the three of them: Phoebe, Flicker, Kale, Rin, and Rast, and that there's a line with your name on it.
How does one sign this?
Just a little bit of blood, dear. And oh, here, you can use mine. And like from her dress, she produces like a massive Bowie knife, and and hands it over to you. And you can see in kind of the fine print above where your name is written, like incompletion of the task, and your life is forfeit.
And your life is forfeit, or your life is forfeit.
Or your life is forfeit.
I is this like yeah, I'll just
Alright. Oh, goody! Oh, this is so great. I've been wanting to get you on the payroll for so long. To be perfectly honest, everybody has. And now I'm the one that did it. Oh, there's going to be some serious competition on the Ember Council now. And everyone will look to me as the one that finally signed Lazer Hawk. Hero. Murderer. I think it has a very nice ring to it.
You can be both.
Well,
People can be two things.
try making that case later, if you know what I mean. All right. Well, um, Misha, why don't you go and get the bastard son of Catastrophil? Um, and Misha will nod and walk downstairs. And I will ask if the group wishes to continue or.
I can keep playing for a little bit as a
Can.
treat.
Okay. You sit in silence, and Branwen, you are escorted by the two women into. There's a third level that kind of runs up from the back of the loft, which is now locked. And you see that one of the women kind of like flicks her wrist, and a key appears, and she unlocks the door. And there are a row of rooms. There are 5 rooms to be specific, and you are brought into what is effectively like a sitting room, but there's like a fainting couch that you would use like in a therapist's office, and a small glass table with like glass drinkware. And they go, you can wait in here until the boss decides what we're doing next. I believe there's some
Right.
discussions that need to occur.
Cool.
And she will. You can hear the faint click of the door behind you. Are you doing anything while you're in there?
I think I'll send a message to El Ray. Hey girl, hey. Rat turned me or not rat. Uh yeah, Laser Hog turned me in again. It's fine. They that made a deal with them.
You just hear a
It's
voice in
fine.
the right. I really hate that man. Are you sure it's fine? Where are
Yeah, these
you?
ones seem to I'm at the Black Stone
The Black
in a
Sun.
room.
That is
Why
not a
you say it like
place
that?
you want to be.
I've been a lot of places I want to be, and honestly, this one seems pretty nice.
I assure you that is not the case. Which room are you in?
3B.
Do you actually
Can
know
you
that one?
elaborate? No, I just guessed. Was that right?
No, I'm asking you, do you know which room
Oh,
you're in?
I'm just saying, like, if I walk past, I'd probably like clock the room number.
Make a perception check to see if you clock the room number.
I don't. I'm in a room.
Yeah.
That was a one.
He goes, all right,
Can
all
you
right.
elaborate, please?
They're 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 killers, Bren. They kill people. They kill people quietly. They kill people slowly.
Well, they wanted me alive, so that kind of works in my favor.
But they already know that you're a problem.
Oh, good thing I can't die, huh?
If you can figure out what room you're in, I advise you to try or at least attempt to get out of
Okay, got it.
there. Lazer Hawk. The rhythmic clink of metal boots and a gruff voice. The fuck am I doing here? I had a job to do. Uh, as they ascend the polished wood staircase, and your gaze shifts to the figure ascending. A man clad in half plate that gleams faintly in the warm glow of the tavern's dark light. Intricate etchings across the steel, like scars almost. Got broad shoulders, framed by a dark coat all the way down to his feet. As he reaches the top, You recognize the face instantly. The bastard son of Catastrophil's sharp eyes scan the room with a predatory focus. He kind of pulls off a hat, and the sides of his head are completely clean shaven, meticulously shimmering, and just a tight bun up at the top. And as he pulls off the hat and kind of wipes his brow with it, calculating eyes, scans. Ah, the little bird. Come all this way, eh? Is that what this is about? And he kind of turns over and looks over at Misha, who you can see is just kind of standing there, hands crossed in front of her, and doesn't acknowledge. And then she'll slip behind him to get towards the bar again, and just kind of like stands politely by it. And Flicker like leans back, and she goes, "I just thought my two favorite clients should meet. Oh my god, this is exciting. This rug is fucking important. Remember that." And she will push up from the booth and kind of like lean back against the closest doorway. And Ragnarobert, funny place to run out of options. Hey there, birdie. Heard you caused quite a stir down at the docks today.
Ragnarobert, the bastard son of Catastrophil. As
Birdie?
I live and fucking breathe.
Yeah. And he spits. And you just hear, imported! And he's no more me. What's this about then? You trying to meet that pretty little wife of yours early? As I'm pretty sure that's one egg I cracked a long time ago. Birdie, birdie. This ain't worth my time. Ah. Call me when you actually want to talk. And he's going to turn to walk back down the stairs.
The moment he turns his back, I'm going to stand up and take out my crossbow and shoot him in the back.
Roll to hit.
Actually, I'm going to wait a little while. He's going to turn around. I'm going to take a little bit of time to cast flame arrows on my crossbow bolts, and they all catch on fire.
How long does that take?
It takes one action.
Oh, okay.
And I can just touch a quiver, and then they all
Got
are
it.
on fire now. And then I load one, and then I shoot them.
Okay.
Nat 20.
Oh, shit.
25.
That'll 25 damage.
No, the second hit is a 25.
Oh, okay. Got it.
And then a 17.
The first two obviously hit. The 17 does not hit.
Okay. I will take the third, then that one again, since I missed. 18.
That does hit. Meets it, beats it.
Let's go. Okay, and now I'm gonna do calculations because that's just how it is.
Dice Smith.
Dice Smith, Dice Smith. That is going to be 50. Oh, no, it's not. It's okay. 55 piercing damage, and then the it does flame damage as well. Damn. And then I do 13 fire damage.
All right. I'll have you both roll initiative. You as well, Bran-win. Even though you're not technically there,
Uh-oh.
so like if you wanted to join in, you would have actions on this. Um, so Laserhawk, what you got?
I got a 23.
Okay, that will count as your turn. Um, and Bran, what did you get?
18.
Okay. I'll get there. So Ragnarobert, as basically the bolt like lands in his shoulder, and yes, Brennan.
This doesn't count. That should be a surprise round for Randy, though, right? So he still gets to go at the top of the order.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So is it the first round again?
It is technically the first round again, but I will say that he does get a free action here. Whereas
Fine.
the bolt like flies into his shoulder, and you can see it catches his coat on fire, and he starts kind of like frantically like patting it down, and he whirls around like ripping a glaive off of his shoulder, and he just goes, "What in the almighty fuck?" And he goes,
Perfectly
"I
reasonable
thought this was
reaction.
just here to talk. I don't give a damn about no imported rug." And it is your turn again, Laserhawk.
I'll say, just here to talk. My, you know me better than that. And I attack him again.
All right.
Oh my god, they're gonna kiss.
Okay, first one misses, but the second try at that is a 27, and then it's an 18,
That'll hit.
and then a 29. So 3 hits, but no crits this time. So
No crits.
no crits. $31 piercing damage.
Okay.
And 13 fire damage.
Okay. Alrighty. Uh, Ragnarobert pulls the glaive off of his back, has two more bolts, like basically like fly into his chest, and one more buries into his thigh, and he just kind of like, "Oh, you done it now, sonny." And he's basically gonna like punch across to get the bolts off of him, and he's going to smile as he like pulls something off of his belt loop, blows on
With
it,
a grenade?
and rolls it across the floor. And it lands at your feet, Laserhawk, but nothing occurs. And he just kind of sits there and goes, "Fuck." Um, and then he will charge at you and make two attacks with his glaive. First one is a 19,
That'll hit.
and the second one is a dirty 20.
That'll also hit.
Okay. Make sure.
I actually forgot to add some more damage to the last 2 rolls.
Okay.
Believe it or not.
Damn.
It's going to be an extra, because I forgot the last hit gets an extra 1d8 of damage. So it's going to be 13 more damage total for both
Okay.
of those 2 attacks.
Got it. Okay. The first attack deals 14 slashing damage, and the second attack deals 11 slashing damage.
Okay.
But he is now like kind of right on top of you. Bramwin, it is your turn. So you hear a gruff Southern Australian voice shout out, and a handful of like clicks of a bolt, and you also hear Flicker kind of shout, "Bar!" And the slam of a door. And Laserhawk, you see her kind of slink in behind an open door that she was leaning against. Um, and it is technically your turn.
Can I quick try to find any secret entrances into this room?
Make an investigation check.
18.
One way in, one way out. The door.
There's not a window?
No windows. It's an interior room.
Oh,
It's basically what it's like.
shit.
You're in a loft above a loft. So you're kind of in like a room that overlooks or would be technically right above. So you can hear all the action below you.
Okay. Um, any loose floorboards?
It's a rug.
Pull off the rug.
Well, no, it's like a rug that you'd have to do like
Oh, it's
like
carpet. It's like
yeah,
carpet.
carpet. Yeah, carpet.
It's
Sorry,
carpet.
carpet. My bad.
Okay, can I guess I'll try to start picking the lock on the door.
Okay, make a sleight of hand check.
That's an 11.
And now you kind of like pull out, like let the gears interlock and pull out your sleight of hand kit from Zephyron's gauntlets and start messing around. And they keep snapping, but they instantly regenerate. And the first one does not work.
I'm rushing. I know that I'm rushing.
And with that, Lazer Hawk, it is your turn.
He's right on top of me.
Yeah.
Kiss.
I am going to run away from him and jump on a table.
Okay,
And
that will
I've
incur.
taken the mobile feat, so I don't incur attacks of opportunity. And my speed is 40 feet now, so I'm gonna go as far away as I can.
Okay.
So that hopefully he can't catch up to me in one turn.
Okay.
And then I will attack again. 23
Mm-hmm.
and 24. 19 piercing.
Okay.
And 10 fire damage here.
Alrighty.
I only get 12 quivers or 12 arrows, so I'm keeping track.
Oh, okay. Well done.
You're actually keeping track?
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Dude, he better
No,
work much
12
more.
arrows of the fire damage.
Oh, I gotcha.
That matters more.
That does matter, yeah. Ragnarobert yanks another. I really punched myself in the chin there. Or yanks another bolt out of his shoulder, looks down at the kind of ball that he rolled on the floor, and he goes, and he's just gonna like boot it over to you. And I will have you make a dexterity saving throw.
But he's a ranger. He's good at those.
Not good enough, probably. 13.
That is not enough. And you look down as the ball kind of rolls up to you, and a hand basically kind of staring at it, and it's a small charcoal ball, like charcoal colored ball, and effectively a few runes start glowing around it as it nears you, and it detonates in an explosive ball of fire, and you take 39 fire damage.
Holy shit. That's not
Um,
good.
Was it a little mobile fireball?
Kind of. And he goes, I've got some tricks up my sleeve too, Hawk. And he is going to rush at you with his 2 glaive attacks. The first one definitely misses.
Yay.
Good.
The second one is a 27.
That'll
That
do.
also misses. Oh.
And hits you for 9 slashing damage. And with that, it is Bran-win's turn. Make a sleight of hand check.
That is better. That's a 21.
After some working and intricacies, you hear a faint click, and the door swings open. Outside
Swings
of
open.
which,
No. I'm peering
okay.
a little crack.
Through a little crack, you see standing there, kind of staring at the door, one of the drow women.
Okay. Can I see down into the room?
No, it's around the corner downstairs.
Oh, okay. I think I'll pause for now.
Okay. Lazer Hawk. He's back up on you.
Okay. How's he looking?
Not great.
Okay. I will, because I am also not looking great. I'm going to. It's such a gamble. How not great?
He's definitely yeah.
I'm gonna, I guess, run away from him once again. This time standing on the bar.
Okay.
Kind of like kick some of the glasses off the bar.
Misha shrieks and runs into the office behind. She was hiding underneath the bar.
And get my crossbow, load that shit up, and keep firing away.
All right.
Okay, first one's a 29 and a 19. No. Come on, baby. Okay. 23 piercing damage.
Okay.
And 5 fire damage.
Okay. He still does not look good, but he has looked better. And it is his turn. And he watches like the 2 bolts fly into his chest. But you can see they're kind of getting slowed down by his plate. And finally, he just like shrugs off the coat, dabs some of the sweat away. Still favor that fancy crossbow of yours, huh? Well, I'll tell you what.
Wait, I have a dog.
Yeah, you've not been using the dog.
I
He's just
forgot.
sitting there like,
Can Buster at least attack that for that turn?
He can attack for that turn, yes.
Okay.
he's
I don't
gonna
like
get
to
kicked. I'm
involve
gonna be
Buster
so
in
mad.
fights I don't have to.
Yeah. I'll say that you're looking positively wrecked, and so Buster jumps in.
Sure. Okay. He can't do that much, but Buster will go in for the bite. Oh, 20.
That's it.
He does 6 damage.
Okay. How do you want that? Good.
Oh,
And he again like kind of basically Buster's like clawing away at the coat, dragging down on it, so he shrugs it off. He goes, "Still favoring that damn fucking crossbow. Well, I'll tell you what. Once I'm done with you, I'm gonna break Buster the same way I break this one." And you watch as he lifts a big leather compartment on the side of his body. Big kind of like leather satchel almost. It's oblong in shape. And he pulls out a very large piece of wood and iron. And as he points it down the line at you, you can see that you're
Does he
staring
have a
down
gun?
the barrel of a very primitive looking blunderbuss style pistol. And he kind of like lines it up and he steadies his arm because it's clearly shaking because he's not doing very well. And he is going to take a shot in the dark. 18?
yeah, that'll hit.
Okay. Bran-win, you hear as a crack, boom, rings out, and the whole room is filled with a big puff of smoke. What is it? Damn, it's not loud enough. For 9 piercing damage.
Oh my god.
Oh man, I'm looking so bad.
And he kind of like stares down the barrel, crack, and the whole room fills. And he clears the smoke and sees you standing there. What the fuck? And sees you standing there with like the this hot metal ball of lead just buried in your shoulder. And it's like you can see the steam and blood gushing out, and you're kind of like raising up your crossbow, hand shaking. And Bramwin, it is your turn.
Yeah, I'm just gonna bust past and try to at least get eye line with these guys. I want to at least be able to see what's going on.
Yeah, you're able to get to the foot of the stairs, but that will incorporate the drow woman into combat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you can use your movement to get down there. Hey, stop! And it is your turn. Still, if you have an action. So what you see, basically, you walk down the stairs, and he's got this like primitive-looking gun in his hand, holding it up at Lazer Hawk, and Lazer Hawk is gushing blood, kind of like on his knees, raising up his crossbow, attempting to make one more strike. Buster growling at Ragnarobert.
I just make eye contact with Lazer Hawk, and I'm just like, "We're shot, bud. Inspiration." B12. And that is my turn. I will pause there. This is not my fight.
Okay. And with that, Laserhawk, it is your turn.
If I'm like on one knee, I get up and I start like limping towards him, and I take out my crossbow and I shoot him again with an unsteady arm. I got a nat 20.
Oh shit!
And then I got I can re-roll that one. And then I got a 23 for my second hit, which goes for 25 piercing damage and 7 fire damage.
How do you want to do this?
By the skin of my fucking teeth, I had 5 hit points left. I limp towards him, and I put I shoot him once, the critical hit. And I get closer and closer, and I put it right up against his forehead, and I go, "Any last words?"
I'm gonna say hi to your wife.
I'm gonna fuck your wife in heaven.
Come on! I'm gonna say hi to your wife for you. Treat her real good.
You know why I always called you by your full name, Ragnarobert, the Bastard Son of Catastrophil?
What is that?
I never wanted you to forget what you were. A bastard.
And I shoot him in the head.
And he just kind of like slumps back and lands on both of his knees, and his body is like so rigid and falls back, and his head tilts and lolls. And silence falls over the room. And one of the women comes up behind you, Brandon, with a knife, and just goes, well, and then tightens it around your neck. The lady will not be happy about this, but we had the deal. Get out now.
That count me too.
You stay, and you will be handled for trying to escape.
Door was open. I heard a noise. Freaked me out, man.
Do not push your luck. You have already pushed on our hospitality. Out, Hawk. You've made enough of a mess here.
How many people are in front of me?
There are 2 dark elf women on the stairs.
I'm gonna just message him, get out of here.
2 elf women, and the what's her name? Is Flicker still there?
Flicker ducked out. She's hiding in a room somewhere.
I'm going to
Get out of here.
I point at him, and I cast fear on the 2 of them, which is a wisdom saving throw. Of 17, I think.
One fails. And the other one rolled a nat 1.
Holy shit.
So the woman holding Bran kind of drops the knife. Okay. And like you can see like her start to like kind of look at the scene, and she kind of breathe a little deeper, and she starts rushing up, like kind of backing up the stairs. She goes, okay, just go.
I just bolt and I'm dragging Lazer Hawk with me. I grab that gun though.
Yeah! Yeah! I get the gun! That's so sick!
I grab the gun, I shove it into Lazer Hawk's hands. I'm just dragging him out.
You all exit. Lazer Hawk, as you kind of like, Branwen takes your hand and you're limping off, and blood still kind of pouring out onto your hand.
Cure wounds.
He's fine. And you can feel like her healing magic kind of coursing through. You look back and you just see the cool, cold, dead eyes of Ragnarobert, and his mouth starting to kind of gape. And you linger on his form for just a second. You don't relish it. And you exit into the cold night street. And that, unless there's something either of you wanted to do,
Never been. I think that's good.
that is
Good
where we will
close.
end tonight's session with the death of the Bastard Son of Catastrophil. We thank you for tuning in to another Bran-win and Lazer Hawk pre-recorded session. As always, we'll be streaming on our regular days of Wednesdays at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, and you can tune into all of our episodes, including the recent flurry of episodes, on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Nat20Hot, which is also our tag on Instagram and TikTok too. As always, you can find our Extra Life team page on our website, where you can make contributions to a wonderful charity that supports children's hospitals across North America. And who knows when we will see Branwen and Lazer Hawk again, but we can bet your bottom dollar that there is still more adventures to be had with the 2 of them. We thank you for tuning in and hope you have a wonderful night and a very, very happy Thanksgiving. So,
Gobble gobble. Bye,
gobble
Zomboy.
gobble.